This is good. Unskippable. Puerto Rican song is for protest. Huh.
What'd you say?
She was clapping for her own demise. Yeah. They're saying go away. They're doing an exorcism to drive out the evil from her. Is you concerned over Tempe police blurred body camera video?
We're about to show you. It is completely blurred from top to bottom, beginning to end. That's how we received the footage after nearly a year of waiting. Took Tempe police that long to release the video from a controversial case that is now going viral. Is that transparency? Here's ABC 15 investigator Nicole Gregg.
First of all, legal experts say no, it's not transparent. They say it's, quote, troubling and problematic, especially because it took police so long to release the footage in a case where they made a major mistake.
Step out!
Without warning, Tempe police jerked this woman's car to a stop using what's called a grappler.
You don't need to be scared.
This heavily blurred video is evidence of their mistake.
Put your hands on top of your head when you get out.
This is Jared Keenan with the ACLU.
Why is the entire thing blurred? Why didn't they, take some time to blur only those portions they were required to blur?
The ABC 15 investigators got
they
this
probably
video
fucked
through
up
a
that
public
whole
records
case.
request around Thanksgiving last year. A request we made way back in January 2024. A request so we could find out exactly what happened the year before on October 20th, 2023.
Nice and slow.
Tempe officers were helping the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office. They were looking for an aggravated assault suspect in the town of Guadalupe. The suspect was driving this white Buick Verano, but the car they grappled was not the suspect's.
Oops.
It was Tristan Sosa's. And officers knew immediately they got the wrong car.
Is anyone else inside? Okay. Keep your hands up and just keep walking backwards.
If there's gas is leaking and the daughter's over there.
Yeah,
let's go get her.
We know. We see it. Keep coming. Faster. Come back. Come back.
Let's go get her the daughter.
Yeah.
This is the wrong car. Let's get the daughter.
Tempe PD does not have dash cameras, so there's no footage of officers using the grappler. Without dash camera footage, ABC 15 wanted body camera video to get a clear picture of what happened.
And so if you're getting public records like a body cam video that's completely blurred out, it undermines the ability of the public to actually hold them accountable because it's not entirely clear what's going on here, especially when it's blurred and silenced.
Blurred and silenced. In total, we got around 64 minutes worth of body camera video, but only around 15 minutes worth of audio. You can see where there's audio and then where it's muted.
Jesus.
Watch the
Yikes.
audio go mute.
They were
As the officer
definitely
talks to
trying
the
to hide
passenger
what
who
they
was also
fucking
inside
did.
the
Oh
car.
my god.
Then this officer asks the others if they're muted or not.
You muted? Yeah. Are you muted?
It's all quiet from there.
Yeah, so,
Are you
this is
muted? Yeah, that's
very troubling because this is a conversation just between officers, and so there'd be no reason why this should be muted.
Tempe PD policy says
Yeah.
to avoid starting and stopping recordings, officers should consider using the mute function when appropriate.
But to have the officers in the field have the ability to mute and unmute as they wish is very problematic.
Some departments don't even give officers the option to mute.
Yeah, Tempe police have certainly changed their policy, and I would suggest that they should do so and adopt one that is pro-transparency and less secretive.
As for the grappler, Tempe Police does have a policy, but that policy is hidden from the public, while we found other agencies like Goodyear posting theirs online.
This is in Arizona.
Tempe police say that the blur on this video is considered a, quote, medium blur. They do it to expedite the process of releasing videos. Again, we put in this public records request in January 2024, and it took nearly a year to get the footage. A spokesperson said that while the medium blur is still their policy, while they catch up on their backlog, and then they will look at changes. I'm investigator Nicole Grigg, ABC 15, Arizona.
Nicole, thank you. Tristan's
Orale
car was considered a
Dream,
total loss after
Kate
this incident.
Chingados.
She says she's
What?
still without a vehicle
What the
more
fuck
than a
does
year
even
later.
that-
The city of Tempe has told
What?
us they're waiting to work with her to
are you
address
even
what happened,
talking
but they
about?
say they're waiting for her to fill out
Speak
the needed
English.
forms. The ABC 15 investigators ran into the chief of police this week. We asked him about the department's mistake and if he's committed to making this situation right.
As chief of this department, making things right for our community is priority for me. My expectation is that we will serve our community both professionally and with compassion, and we look at every situation and through that lens. And so, yes, we will make sure we do the right thing every time.
We know our ABC 15 investigators will continue to follow
I don't
this
know,
story for you.
man. That camera says otherwise. Right, this body cam footage shows otherwise.
So, Sheriff's Office.
A little fucking sketchy, dude. Blurred out everything. Muted audio. It's like... and you hit the wrong fucking person, too. It's like, ugh. Oh, so many fuck-ups. Pourquoi? Pourquoi? Or no? Huh? Why? Another day. It's just any other day.
California Governor Gavin Newsom.
There was the
recently,
fucking
he said,
Trump
quote,
being on.
there must be no conditions, no strings
Blah, blah,
attached
blah.
to disaster
Nothing really too much.
aid. And yet we know that there's a big conversation happening right now on Capitol Hill about linking disaster aid for California to an increase in the debt limit, which has been
Might
a
stream
traditionally
it. I
really
don't know.
thorny issue.
Gotta wake
you
up
and
early in
can
the
you
morning
commit
if I want to do that.
California disaster relief won't have strings attached?
No, I won't commit that because we have a serious problem in California. Listen, there are natural disasters. I'm from Louisiana. We're prone to that. We understand how these things work.
Yeah. True.
But then there's also human error. And when the state and local officials make foolish policy decisions that make the disaster exponentially worse,
yeah.
we need to factor that in. And I think that's a common sense notion.
Yeah, damn right.
Well. Fucking cause that shit. Their policies. Fucked people. Yeah. God, I'm fucking exhausted.
Donald Trump right now is at the apex of his power. He's more popular than ever. His ideology is more popular than ever. And I think it's in large part because people were comparing the results of Biden and Trump won and saying, we're going back to Trump and this was a lot better than what we got under Joe Biden. So I think a lot of his legacy, frankly, is going to be bookended by the fact that he and Obama gave us Trump the first time and that he gave us Trump 2.0, stronger than ever. Joe Biden,
Yes, of course.
Biden made some promises that he was going to be an honest president. He wasn't. That he was going to be a moderate president. He wasn't. And that he was going to try to restore the soul of the nation. I don't think anybody believes that he did that. And on the way out the door, oh, by the way, he's pardoning his son retroactively for anything and everything going back a number of years. That did not sit well with the American people. So when you consider the inflation, Afghanistan, border, the pardons, and really Joe Biden not living up to what he said he was going to be, I think it's going to be hard for him to make a comeback in the near term.
Yeah, damn right.
I'm really
proud, actually, of the work Joe Biden did for our country.
Damn right.
So yeah, I'm really proud, actually, of the work Joe Biden did for our country.
I gotta say, I'm on my way to a ball. I think Paul's already been out to one already. I'd like to get into whatever he's drinking in the description of the Joe Biden presidency, because if everything you said was true, he should have had no trouble getting reelected, and he should not have a 34% approval rating. The truth is, on so many issues.
And he is the only person on this channel that you can watch and listen
He
to.
failed, and not only did he fail, but he and his people were dishonest with the American people about it, telling us the border is secure when it's not, telling us that the Afghanistan pullout was a wonderful accomplishment.
Yeah, literally, he's the only guy willing to, like, actually say anything about the fucking... what Biden did as he was fucking doing his fucking term.
And most damagingly last year, telling us that...
Right, all Biden did was, oh, we're gonna help the minority people. Oh, we're gonna help the races that are in the United States. And we're gonna hate on white people. The white guys for here. Like, what do we do? We're gonna open up the border, we're gonna allow all these illegals to fucking kill people. It's like, Jesus, dude, come on.
When clearly he was not, and the biggest cover-up in modern political history took place on
We're gonna
his
allow
watch, and I guess
Trende Aragua in Colorado and just fuck shit up in those apartments.
Now admit that Joe Biden was not with it, and they all went along with it too, and they have no one to blame but themselves. I do agree with what Paul said earlier. He should never have run for re-election, but the fact that he's now saying he could have won is delusional, and the fact that he's saying Kamala Harris could have won is basically saying she ran a crap campaign. So he's left his own party in somewhat political chaos.
Wow.
Yeah. That was very sharply dressed, so thank you.
Yeah, if this punditry doesn't work out, I'll be able to show you two to your table at the next dinner scene. So.
We look forward to that. All right, Scott Jennings, Paul Pagala, thanks to both of you.
They're better and better every day.
Touchdown.
Hesitate completely. A diamond among trash. What if he's only doing that just to help his numbers? And then again, right, CNN does bring on people that do or against their original agenda. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, this is why I hate news media outlets and politicians, because they put on that fucking... Right, they put on that fake face and then they lie to your face. And then it's just like, okay, dude, you're a fucking prick. I don't even want to be on here anymore because you guys are shitheads.
The idea of the TikTok ban has led to Americans going to Red Note, aka Xiaohongshu, one of the most popular social media platforms in China. You might recognize Xiaohongshu from the memes that reference it.
Do you think God stays in heaven because he too lives in fear of what he's created? Xiaohongshu!
And Red Note is the English name for the app. As such, Red Note was sort of already present in the collective consciousness of meme culture before the TikTok ban was announced, which no doubt helped lubricate the American exodus into it. And now that people are actually flooding the site, the long stream of memes and references to Red Note is becoming impossible to ignore, as the clash of cultures between American and Chinese users are leading to some incredible moments. Fights over the meaning of social credit scores, saying goodbye to Chinese spies on TikTok, as well as Americans referring to themselves as refugees, the banning of TikTok and subsequent migration to other apps is certainly a big online moment. this conglomeration of cultures has the potential to change memes in huge ways. Chinese memes have already penetrated global online spaces because there are simply so many people using social media in that country.
Yep.
After all, China already has the most people in the world on social media.
Well, I mean, they
sitting
have
at
kind of
1
their
billion
own
compared to the
stuff like
paltry
Billy and
240
stuff like
million or so
that.
in the
So it's
United
like,
States.
yeah, obviously they're
You
gonna
may
have their
remember
own
the
social
Chinese
media
Wojak
site.
equivalents that rocked Americans a little while back, like the insane panda faces that became implemented within digital culture. But then again, it can go both ways. It turns out memes like Plankton Moaning are super popular on Red Note 2, and the
shit,
cat blew up on Chinese
what
at
the
Bilibili.
fuck?
So I'm extremely interested to see how the future will look with a potentially collaborative effort between Western and Eastern cultures when it comes to posting. The fact that memes are able to transcend international borders through virtue of not necessarily needing to be understood through any one language means there's opportunity here for entirely new creations to be consumed by audiences, the size of which the world could not imagine previously. It's like when the water bottle guy sang the Super Idol song back in 2021 and became a star in Western media as well as in China, bringing the two countries together in their love for a ridiculously goofy clip. So if TikTok is so popular, why shut it down? Well, all of this is happening because the US government has been calling for TikTok's downfall for years, despite its many citizens using the app on a daily basis.
Well, they not only did they fuck with TikTok, but they also fucked with other apps that had Chinese influence. Apparently, they hit up Marvel Snap. That got fucked up. I don't know if it's still is Marvel Snap. Well, let's find out. Marvel Snap. Down. Was affected by the takedown. Yeah. January 18th, yep. Yeah, so they're essentially closing down they're trying to close down all the apps that have some sort of Chinese influence. But it's just like at that point you might as well just fucking slap everyone. This is so stupid what they're doing. All because they're like, "Oh, we got to take TikTok down." TikTok TikTokers.
ByteDance, the company that created TikTok, to sell its business in the US, and if the US Supreme Court doesn't do something, the app will be completely banned from the United States forever, after many years of operating in the country. The US has long raised security concerns surrounding TikTok as the government is...
Yeah, I mean, you obviously have NBC News, this fucking this guy's a prick. But yeah, you have these guys who just like spinning the narrative. So
security concerns surrounding TikTok as the government is worried that the Chinese are using it to gather data on foreign citizens.
Well, I mean, there have been already instances where they have done that.
Effectively providing a completely free way for America to give China valuable insights into how citizens act or feel.
Well, I mean, regardless, you're already giving that information to the United States, right? They're already learning from your fucking habits, right? Same with Chinese. They're already learning from your habits. All that information you put on TikTok, yeah, they already have that shit.
Of course, many argue that this is more or less exactly what the American tech companies have been doing to their own citizens for many years.
Yeah.
So perhaps it's just a pick your poison moment.
It is a pick your poison, but at the same time, it's like, why would you try to ban TikTok? Is that you're gonna have to ban every other fucking app, unless you're just doing it because of fucking Chinese influence.
After all, Facebook was caught doing
they
this numerous...
they are. Oh yeah. Scandal case for 725 mil. Not only that, apparently, Meta got some kickbacks from some politicians after closing down TikTok. So yeah, there's some shadiness going on right
times and has had to pay extraordinary fines for selling data without users' consent. At any rate, whilst TikTok was preceded by Musical.ly until the two apps were smushed together in 2018, it saw a massive spike in usage during 2020, when COVID lockdowns forced millions to stay inside. Entire careers were born on TikTok during this period, which is precisely why there is so much at stake here for the removal of the app. TikTok changed the social media game by promoting a move to purely algorithm-based recommendations for viewers, encouraging a constant flick from clip to clip.
I mean, you
that
could
has
say
led to
Google
additions
does
to the
this.
English language like doom scrolling. This push to purely algorithmic-based viewing has been criticized for making social media and memes even more addictive than they already are, but TikTok quickly became one of the most popular apps in the world and influenced the others in this manner. Instagram made Reels and YouTube made Shorts to replicate its success. However, initially TikTok was received as cringe and for kids upon release, but quickly dominated the social media scene to the point that making TikToks
Tumblr?
became a concept that even old boomers knew. As such, not only can the ban affect the financial well-being of many, but there's more going on behind the scenes on a political scale.
Oh yeah.
The rise of China as a world superpower has certainly rattled the United
States. I mean, these guys are obviously fucking doing some calls in the fucking background, even though that these fucking dumbass news media outlets and politicians have run their fucking mouth.
States, and the fact that so many Americans are using Chinese tech seems to really piss it off. Another indicator that tensions are perhaps rising is the fact that Tencent, the only...
I'm surprised they did this. They actually called Tencent a Chinese military company because they have been buying shares in a bunch of U.S. companies, right? And they own a bunch of video game companies too, in a sense.
Owner of Riot Games, who made League of Legends,
they own
was
it
deemed
like
a military
almost all the
company.
fucking shares.
And despite saying he would,
like they own all of GGG, Grinding Gear Games, and then I believe Tencent is also into a lot of mobile games. I think they are a part of Blizzard too.
banned TikTok previously as a show of force against China, Trump has hit a 180 trick shot and said that he'd try to save it once he comes into office as president. Whether or not he will actually achieve this is unclear at this stage. India went through the same thing a few years ago, as the country saw massive stars like Indian Joker rising through the ranks to hit mega fame, but now that opportunity is lost to them. The Indian government decided the app was too much of a security concern and simply banned it, which left many of its citizens in the lurch. It turns out most Indians moved to Instagram and YouTube, but the feeling of what made Indian TikTok special was lost. Xiaohongshu/Red Note allows for Americans to encounter a majority culture different to their own. Westerners are used to their own social media platforms being the biggest in the world, but this is no longer the case as Chinese apps take up massive virtual space. Chinese media and viewpoints may end up dominating online discourse as the clash of two cultures becomes ever prominent. It's funny to watch Chinese people troll Americans by asking them if they really work 2 jobs to survive or if they really have to pay for ambulances. It goes to show propaganda goes...
I mean, yes and no. It depends.
Both ways, as Americans are often only shown how horrible of a surveillance state China is, or of course how intense censorship is, but not some of the normal or everyday things that paint Chinese people as humans instead of monsters or victims. There's nice moments online too, like the Americans asking the Chinese to help with homework, or paying the cat tax on Red Note by posting a picture of their cat as the first thing they put on there. The question is, are we going to see a Chinese social media revolution spread in other countries? American social media like MySpace, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and of course YouTube have become...
I never download Red Note. They're stealing your data. Bitch, how many accounts have you made on these social media platforms? How many government forms have you put your name on? It's like
so normalized for so many international spaces, but it seems like those sites are eclipsed by the sheer number of Westerners using Chinese tech like TikTok. It certainly reflects the fact that social media has become so intertwined with everyday life that many cannot possibly imagine having their accounts uploading every single minute of every single day, to the point that if one goes down, then they must go elsewhere or perish. We've seen this happen before with the destruction of Vine, which eventually led to the popularity of TikTok growing as those creators decided to move over to the, at the time, new site. I mean, TikTok is ultimately owned by a Chinese company, but the fact is that Chinese users and global users were somewhat separated. But now they're being properly included in one another's lives, which means the exchange with memes and ideas are going to start looking...
The reason why they're separated is because the communist countries have a different version. They don't have the same version as the United States or the EU or right UK, right? They're all using different. Everyone's using a different version. Let's be real, okay? If you are doing an international business, you need to pony up to each of these countries' laws and regulations. But that is why they have different apps. I mean, obviously they're of the same, right? They're made by the same company. It's just altered a little to fit the country's regulations and rules.
Entirely different
laws.
TikTok, just like Vine, will leave a legacy online for many years to come. People will remember the dance trends, the shit posting, and the fact that so many lived and experienced their existence through the lens of this one app. Social media isn't going anywhere, however, and TikTok is still available in my home country of Australia.
People have been so accustomed to TikTok, they're so addicted to it.
Yeah, but it's safe to say that there's no way it could be as influential as it is now with the US ban. TikTok defined Gen Z as a generation, and I have no doubt they will be nostalgic for it in exactly the same way as millennials were for MySpace before it died.
MySpace,
and Facebook back in the day before it became terrible and overrun by boomers fighting over politics and worshipping shrimp Jesus. Some describe this ban as an attack on free speech, which the United States often claims to be a champion of compared to China's stringent laws on censorship. I guess at the end of the day, there's an irony in American users being forced to stop using TikTok over security concerns until they migrate over to what could be
I mean, to be honest, it has nothing to do with the whole freedom of speech thing.
It's going to be interesting.
This is a company. Like, get your freedom of speech shit out of here.
Genuinely goes through forever, considering the importance of TikTok in the current creator economy. What meme would you guys like me to give a lesson in next? Let me know in the comments below.
I remember.
I mean, sure, the company has to adhere to the to the rules and regulations of the country they're setting up in. But these businesses don't have to comply. They only comply if the government enforces it, and sometimes they don't. So that's why they get to do what they do. I hate to say it, but even YouTube, your data is being siphoned by this company, Google, right? No matter what website you go to, whether it's Amazon, right, whether it's whether it's Meta, each time you enter a website, you are sending information from your computer, right, network to their servers. You are giving them information when you're on the fucking online space, no matter what you do, right? The whole networking and everything. Right? How the fuck do you use the internet? Well, you go through your ISP. The ISP is already fucking tracking you. It's just they don't fucking give your shit to the government unless the government actually asks for your shit. Yeah. I don't know why people are so fucking brain dead about this shit. Just think for a moment about the fucking infrastructure about your goddamn country.
This is a pretty typical pattern, but these numbers for Biden seem especially low.
Yeah, they're historically, though. They're, I dare say, historically awful. What am I talking about here? Well, job approval at the end of the first term. I'm just looking amongst those who lost or didn't run for re-election. You don't have to be a mathematical genius to see which is the lowest number on your screen right now. And an average of polls, my average, Joe Biden's at 38%. He's actually lower than Donald Trump was at the end of his first term. Remember, at the end of his first term, everyone was saying Donald Trump's political career is over.
But happens to be wrong.
He's lower than Jimmy Carter, who was at 44% by the end of his presidency. Not even close to George H.W. Bush, who was at 56%, saw a nice rebound. But the bottom line is this. Joe Biden came in to end the Donald Trump reign in this country.
Shit, even in 1981, Carter did better than... Man, they're really fucking rubbing it in, eh? Jesus. They were fucking. I thought CNN was happy that Biden. Now they're just fucking torching him.
Right? End Donald Trump's political career. And all that's ended up happening is Joe Biden has managed to end up at a lower approval rating at the end of his first term than any
George Bush
president on record, Jessica.
Wait, that's George Bush.
Jessica. On term than his record,
Is that George
Jessica.
Bush Sr.? I can't see.
Think about that.
So if you think this approval rating number is bad, take a look at this particular number. All right, a good or great president. And good, look at this particular number.
1990.
All right,
No, that's
a good or
George
great
H.W.
president
Bush.
at
Yeah,
the end of
that's
their
all
terms.
right.
Well, Barack Obama, 52% of Americans thought he was a good or great president at the end of his presidency, 2017. Donald Trump, very much behind Barack Obama at 36%. But look at how low.
Bro, he's not. He's gone.
Joe Biden is, my goodness gracious, you can't really get lower than 25%. It is the lowest number since AP Nork started tracking this back at the end of Barack Obama's second term. Bottom line is, Joe Biden goes out a very unpopular man at the end of a 50-plus year political career.
What a mess. This guy Biden is the worst we've ever had. The worst.
I don't even think that 50 plus is correct.
You're a pest, a menace, and I've no use for you. You took something from me that I could never get back. Something that means more to me than you ever will. You understand? I don't want to see you. I don't want to know you. Get out of my way.
You are the oldest president ever.
Pretty good shape, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. You're in good shape. Can't even stand trial. Yes. Can't even stand trial. Yes. Joe Biden's apparent cold shoulder for Kamala Harris ignites social media. I'm trying to get like through all the memes. White House staffers describe mood as depressing as Biden fights for legacy and pushes idea he could have beaten Trump. Yeah. Death stare at Obama and Trump's chat. Is she jealous or just fed up? And where's Michelle? Yeah, he wasn't at the... Yeah, she wasn't there. And Joe Biden avoid each other like the plague and cringe encounter at Jimmy Carter funeral. Yeah. About Biden's claim he could have won the election. Joe Biden turns on disappointing Nancy Pelosi, ousting her husband from presidential race. Relationship with Joe Biden turned frosty. Telling response to alleged rift between outgoing Kamala Harris. Who cares? She's stuck.
Who's going to tell us why?
It's just
we are
torching the shit. Just kept John Docs too. Sorry. Fuck. Oh well. Oh. Well, Fight Trump deportation. Because live his president claims he pushed hard to put more Secret Service agents on the board. Asked Georgia Supreme Court to put her back on Trump's RICO case ahead of inauguration. So stupid. Good arrest, lady. You lost. Joe Scarborough doubles down on claim that Biden seemed sharp before debate. Despite ample reports say the other way. Give Heard's gun control group. What? Palisades fire should make GOP back off on defunding ATF. What? What is it? Huh? What are you guys talking about? And it leaves Elon Musk's ex in protest over lack of factual exchange. Why is the German Defense Ministry? Is it because of his rocket technology? That's the only thing I can think of. I guess they wanted an exchange of information, but Musk was like, "Ah, get the fuck out of here." Biden claims credit for ceasefire, but Trump's special envoy reportedly led talks. Yeah, they were even. Yeah, some people are. What was that one dude's name? Who does the debriefing for the press? But he was all like, "Yeah, we had a lot of we had help from Trump's Trump's team to help us get this on the way." Pam Bondi makes Hawaii Democrat Senator Mazi Hirono regret not meeting with her as she embarrasses Hirono for several minutes. Yeah, this Hawaii Democrat, I don't know why the fuck she's even talking. Like, she let that shit burn. Like, Maui got fucked up from the fires.
Attorney General should investigate one of his procedures.
Not only that, but all she does is go online and just read up the most stupidest brain-dead comments ever, and then uses it in the hearing to attack her own colleague. It's like, what the fuck?
Political enemies, would you do so?
Senator Hirono, I wish you had met with me. Had you met with me, we could have discussed many things and gotten to know.
I am listening to you now. Could you respond to the question?
Yeah, you were
Dude,
the
these
only
people
one
are
who refused to
unreasonable.
meet with me,
Right?
Senator.
You try your best.
Is that it is the job of the
you
Attorney
try
General
your darnest.
I'm
to
very
follow
happy to listen
the
to
law.
your responses under oath, Ms. Bondi. So I think it's really important to us that the Attorney
As you
General
can
be
see, there's
independent
people
of the
who
White
are
House.
just
And you have a
unwilling,
president-elect who considers
a part of the
AG's office
conversation
his law
because they're
firm.
retarded.
I would like to know whether the president suggests, hints, asks that you, as Attorney General, should investigate one of his perceived enemies.
Senator, I
do?
certainly have not heard the president say that, but what I will tell you is 2/3 of Americans have lost faith in the Department of Justice. And it's statements like that, I believe,
Ms.
that make
Bondi.
people continue to lose faith. If I am confirmed as Attorney General, it will be my job
Arrogance,
to not
ignorance,
only
and
keep
competence, yeah.
America
You're not
safe,
responding.
but restore.
Oh no, the trifecta. God damn. That's a good one. Was it AII?
Integrity to that department.
Why don't we
and that's
move
what
on
I
to
plan
something
on
that
doing
you said?
every single day as Attorney General.
One of the things that we Democrats have a really hard time is connecting to people's hearts instead of here.
You can't make this
We
shit
have
up.
a really hard time doing that. And one of the reasons that it was told to me at one of our retreats was that we Democrats know so much. That is true. It's a huge issue.
Yeah, you were the only one who refused to meet with me, Senator.
Yeah, it's this huge issue where Democrats just they're fucking peanut brain. I don't get it. They're just fucking peanut brain. They don't know how to use that head of theirs. Right? They got a brain in their skull, but they just don't use it.
Who's willing to lie about the election results in Pennsylvania is going to restore integrity in the Justice Department the way that you are calling for.
Yeah, Jake, I mean, look at what's happened under the Biden administration. We have people in these offices who have chosen to go after American citizens, who have chosen to weaponize the justice system in a number of ways. When I talked with Pam Bondi, she committed to me to getting back to doing the job of the people, to getting back to doing what the department was created to do.
That was Republican Senator Katie Britt turning a trick question by CNN's Jake Tapper about Trump nominee for Attorney General Pam Bondi into a grand slam on the Biden administration. You can even see the dismay on Tapper's face as he wasn't ready for her response. Bondi has vowed to restore justice and destroy the deep state, which of course makes her a target for the Democrats and the broad road media.
You're on the Senate Judiciary Committee. Attorney General nominee Pam Bondi will testify before your committee later this week. You have said she has your support and she will help restore the Department of Justice to become one, quote, driven by blind justice, not blind partisan politics, unquote. We should note, as a member of Trump's legal team in 2020, she falsely claimed that Trump had won Pennsylvania, which he had not. She spread baseless claims about widespread cheating by Democrats, about fake ballots. That is partisan politics.
No, Democrats have done fake ballots. I mean, the fact that you guys had to be like, oh yeah, we're gonna say voter ID laws. Yeah, the racist. We're getting rid of them in all Democrat states. It's like what?
What she said in 2020.
Sorry,
that
excuse
is
me,
not
how are they
justice.
racist?
People want these agencies, these departments to actually work for the American
If anything,
people.
I think it's a
Pam
security
is
measure
committed
to make sure
I think
that
you
no
will
one's
see
cheating.
That. What President Trump has done is he has selected people who are willing to not move as business as usual, but yet are ready for action. They understand his vision for the nation. They understand the mandate that was given on November 5th, and they understand that time for talk is gone and time for results and action is now. And so I think people are actually sick of the weaponization. We had this conversation. We talked about politics not being part of the process of what you do in the department.
He's just like,
she is
"Ugh."
committed to that, and I think she's going to do an excellent job of returning the department to the.
He's just like, wait, I don't like this.
Work of the American people, and I am excited for her hearing. I'm certainly excited. It'll be my very first hearing as a member of the Senate Judiciary Committee. We've got a lot of great nominees on the Hill this week, and they'll have the opportunity not only to make their case to those on that committee, Jake, but they'll have their opportunity to make their case to the American people of why they are best suited to move President Trump's agenda forward.
That it is.
You know the thing.
You know the thing, you know the words, the thing. Fucking blasted. This is some Tom and Jerry shit right here. They're friends. They became friends. Oh yeah, there's a bunch. Watch. It was armed homeless people have invaded NYC's subway. No way. Well, I mean, pretty sure they have been doing that for a while.
Yeah, I wanted to show you what Greta Thunberg is up to these days. All you people all you kids out there who worship
how's
this
Greta
crackpot, we
Thunberg
said here
doing?
on this on Outsiders from day one that she was a fraud. Well,
Sky News.
look where our climate change queen has ended up now. Hope she's happy with herself.
Fucking.
There you go. Great work.
In the middle of a Palestinian chant or some shit. Whoopi Goldberg, a fitness expert, yeah. Please hurry, Victor. People need to realize she's being paid by people in power to pander to young. I mean, yeah, that's what it seems. Professional protester. I think Rita summoned her up perfectly when she called Greta a pathetic little tomb goblin. Oh man. Her 5 minutes of fame has long since passed. She's no longer of any relevance. Not that she ever really was. She's a bigger grifter than Al Sharpton. That's right. She was in the game. She came into the game way early. She was a youngin' when she came into the game, fucking spouting climate change. Girl did not age gracefully. Oh no. Doom Goblin is now a nasty little anti-Semitic troll. Yeah, basically. 10th grade is when you study earth science. She dropped out of 7th grade. Isn't she old enough to find employment? Yeah, basically. I mean, yeah, she's like 18 now, probably 19. Fraud indeed. I was still surprised people are eating her shit up. Still. Though she's a big fat fucking liar. I mean, she does. Even though she's a liar, she does a better job sticking to her guns than fucking all these politicians and musicians and shit using private jets and shit. April 3rd, 2024, KGAP is asked why Biden Karine Jean-Pierre cares so deeply about the issue of liquefied natural gas exports. Turns out Biden didn't even know he signed a ban on LNG exports. That's how deeply he cared. Yeah. Oh, she actually said that?
LNG temporary pause doesn't have as high of a profile. And can you give any sense for what it is that the president, why he cares so much about it, whether he's shared with you any sort of deep views that he has on this particular very kind of targeted policy?
Yeah, so look, the pause on the pending approvals of LNG export, it is important. It is important to understand the climate and economic impacts. That's why it's so important, right, of these LNG exports. And it is the impacts on consumers, right, the impacts on communities, and that's why the president supports.
What do you mean? It's liquefied natural gas, you guys, processed. It's literally elements from the fucking earth. What are you doing?
What? Yes! LNG pauses. So we're going to continue to meet our LNG needs of our allies, and the temporary pause does not impact current LNG exports. But there is some, by having these pauses, it does tell us something that is important to know. So that's why the president supports it. As it relates to what we've been hearing from the speaker, Speaker Johnson, we've been very clear. If we really want to help the people of Ukraine, the brave people of Ukraine, we got to get that national security supplemental done.
Oh my God!
Oh, my bad. Yeah, fucking sad, dude. Fucking sad. Doesn't even know what he signed. I was like, oh no, I didn't sign that. Bitch, you did. What is this one? It's all rat skin. James Comer and Jamie Ratskin.
I don't know what business.
Oh, they have a fight. What? Had a heated argument on how the Biden crime family made their money. Oh yeah, I remember this.
I don't know what business were they in. Well, what business is the Comers in? You're talking about lots of people. There's lots of people in the family.
I'm a farmer. I have land.
Your impeachment investigation must identify a high crime and misdemeanor.
What did they do?
I'll tell you what Joe Biden did. He was a senator.
I think this has to go with the whole how China has been buying up farmland and how Bill Gates owns a lot of fucking farmland and shit. It's like, what the fuck is happening here? Hello? Where's all of the American farmland? What the fuck happened? Why is it being changed?
That's what his family did. That's why Ukraine, Kazakhstan, Romania, China, Russia, that's why they paid the Biden family money, because Joe Biden.
None of those governments paid anyone any money.
Somebody needs therapy here, but it's nobody on our side of the aisle, okay? Because, honestly,
back to the China
you had your chance.
My God.
I would like my time restored.
Well, no, your time was expired.
No, you interrupted me.
Your time, you went above, and I let Miss Thornton go a minute.
You know what?
Here, sit down, everybody, come back. This is about China.
This is about
question now. Miss Presley, you're out of order. Sit down.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman.
Book deals are covered for money laundering. Exactly. Like the fact that these guys are releasing books at certain times, it's like, that was a little shady, isn't it? Nice. Like all of these politicians, they're releasing books of information that they've attained, apparently. Raskin needs more prison time for his crimes committed on January 6th committee member. Raskin, the weirdest, creepiest of all of them. I can't stand that guy. I mean, he's a rat, right? And it's in his fucking name. His name is Mr. Ratskin. People like a rat king beg the old Shakespeare. You think that'll protest too much? It should be investigated. His rat finkish self. Question: did the taxpayers pay for this horrendous hair plug project? Yeah, dude, the dude is going. This guy's worse than Asmongold. Oh, fuck.
Side of the aisle, okay?
So fucking...
No, honestly,
back to the China.
At this point, I think it looks like he's wearing a wig.
Okay? Because, no, honestly,
back to the...
All right. Yeah, apparently the ICE agents started arresting illegal immigrants today. Started in Fairfax County, Virginia.
Enforcement and removal operations. We have a very unique role in the federal law enforcement community. We are the only entity that identifies, apprehends, detains, and ultimately removes from the country. So we have a broad scope of responsibility. Ultimately, our job is to ensure that the individuals that are in this country circumventing the laws of the immigration system are brought to justice and are removed, and it's our job to keep our community safe. We're targeting individuals that are circumventing our immigration laws, that have come to this country to do harm to our citizens, to our communities, to our country. We're targeting individuals who are national security. We're targeting individuals who are just in general,
This is a
violating
national
the immigration
security
laws
problem.
as they're currently written.
This does affect
If we're
everyone's
going
security.
into a cooperative jurisdiction, I can send
Because
two
if they keep
officers
tracking
next
your
to pick someone up, put them in
movements,
a
right,
vehicle,
they can
transport
send
them
that
here.
to people.
It's a clean environment, so we know
Right,
that
keep
individual
giving
hasn't
data
been
to
searched,
people.
there's
You're
no
fucked.
contraband, there's no weapons. I can send two officers. When we're going out into our communities to find these
I
individuals
mean, at this point,
large,
people can just put
and
tracking
leading
devices on
safety
you if they really
numbers,
wanted to.
we wanna
Like
know
Apple
that
Air
our
tags
officers are
and
gonna
shit.
have backup
Like
if
the
it's needed. Every
Android,
case is
like
gonna
the
be
new
different,
Android Air,
and
those
the
Android
outcome
Air
of every
tags
case
too.
will be different.
No, all people have to do is buy that shit and just try and stick
I
it on
don't
you.
know what's to come in the next 4 years.
Or put it under
but
your car.
myself and my
Oh yeah,
workforce,
that's
we are
another
public
one.
servants.
Putting it
We're
under the
always gonna
car,
do what
right?
the
Putting
mission
it
calls
under your
for.
car or
So
something. You might want to
doesn't
check your
matter,
car
we're an
sometimes too.
apolitical entity.
Because someone might
we
just
carry out
slip,
the mission.
right? Flap, right? Stick it on underneath your car or some
The
shit.
community are the victims of these individuals coming in and committing the crimes. So nobody, no matter where they're from, nobody wants to be a victim of crime. And I feel very comfortable saying that enforcement and removal operations have things in place, like we have the victim-centered approach in place, where if someone is a victim of crime, we're gonna look at that differently. We're not gonna target you, we're gonna work with you. I respect the mission that we do. I believe in the mission that we do. I believe that the end game of protecting our community, like, you know, I come from a Hispanic background, but if you come to this country and do harm, then you just, this is not a place where you need to be.
She was gonna say something else because she has to deal with a lot of these people, and she's probably seen some fucked up shit. That's why she's like trying not to say anything, right? Trying not to say anything crazy on mainstream or right on the in the interview. But you can see it on her face. Like she has, it looks like she's been through some shit. It's over. U.S. just hit China with no. Oh yeah, let's watch this one because of the whole TikTok and all the China
political,
stuff.
economic, and geostrategic
All the
analysis
Chinese
on the
app,
world's
little
number 2
apps,
economy. My name's
Chinese
Tony.
influence
Let's jump
apps
in.
and stuff.
We normally take Sundays off, but today I had to put up an extra episode because there has just been so much to cover from this week. So this episode is going up today, then we're back to regular episodes tomorrow on Monday. There's also another special episode going up for channel members and Patreon supporters. But with this episode here, we're going to cover the most salient points from this week, so we're ready for a new week of updates from tomorrow. According to an exclusive
China
story
Uncensored
published by
is another
US-based Wall
one.
Street Journal yesterday, President-elect Donald Trump has expressed interest in traveling to China early in his presidency, a move that could help
there was
rebuild his
another.
strained relationship
There's
with
another
Chinese
group
leader,
of people
General
that
Secretary Xi Jinping. The
do
two leaders who have
Chinese
had
news
fraught
stuff too. I
interactions over
forgot
trade
their
and tariffs spoke by phone on
YouTube
Friday,
channel.
marking their first conversation since the election.
I can
Trump
maybe
has
find
hinted
it.
that he might visit China within his first 100 days, although no official plans have been confirmed. The visit would come at a critical juncture, with Trump having promised steep tariffs on Chinese imports,
I think I
potentially up to
followed them, but
60%. China, facing
my
economic pressure,
subscribe
is eager to engage in
has probably
negotiations
fallen
to
off
mitigate
because
these
YouTube likes
tariffs.
to fucking
In
do
addition to
that
trade,
bullshit.
the conversation between Trump and Xi
Well, I mean, I
touched
should
on
say
other issues such
Google.
as fentanyl trafficking into the United States, TikTok, and the contentious Taiwan situation. Trump's remarks on social
yeah.
media suggested optimism about solving global problems with Xi, emphasizing a desire for cooperation. While Trump's inauguration is set for Monday, tomorrow, Xi has opted to send Vice President Han Zheng as his representative and not attend in person. Trump has been to China as president before. Trump's visit to Beijing in late 2017 came a few months after meeting Xi Jinping face-to-face for the first time at Mar-a-Lago, his Florida estate. He toured the Forbidden City and took in a Peking opera performance. In a social media
here we
post
go.
on Friday, Trump expressed,
wait.
quote, President Xi and I will do everything possible
This is the
to
guy,
make the
but he
world
also.
more peaceful
I guess
and
that's
safe.
his.
End quote. Next up, and staying on the theme of US-China, there have been big developments in the US-China technology war from this week, specifically AI technology and advanced semiconductor restrictions, which Washington rolled out against China and others. On Wednesday, the US Department of Commerce issued 2 rules restricting PRC access to advanced semiconductors. One to update export controls on advanced computing semiconductors, and
Yeah.
another that places...
So, If you want to know where all of our semiconductors come from, yeah, you should ask China. Well, Taiwan, really. But yeah, a lot of semiconductors come out of the Asian countries. And most of it is Taiwan, right?
Additional entities in the PRC
So,
and Singapore
yeah,
on the entity
China
list. The new
has
measures
it in
call
their
for chip producers
realm
like
of everything,
TSMC and
in
Samsung
their
Electronics
jurisdiction.
Co. to step up their scrutiny and due diligence of customers, especially Chinese
Whereas
firms.
we have to
That's an
buy
acknowledgement
from,
that advanced
buy from
semiconductors
them.
are still making their way to China and Russia, including one incident where TSMC made chips were secretly diverted to the blacklisted Huawei Technologies Co., which we covered at the time. According
So yeah, here's the other guy that I watched, original China vlogger. He does, I believe he lives in China, but yeah, he does Chinese news too. If you look at China news, yeah, there's a lot of people that do Chinese news on the YouTubes if you're looking for.
To the Commerce Department, the curbs imposed sanctions on
Some,
16 Chinese companies, quote, due to
geopolitical
their involvement
news and
in
whatnot,
supporting or directly
if you will.
contributing to the development of advanced computing integrated circuits that further China's development of advanced weapon systems, weapons of mass destruction, and high-tech surveillance applications, and because these entities supply Chinese public security end users, impose a risk of diversion to Huawei. End quote. The US also added 11 firms to the entity list, 7 of whom are AI darling Zhipool subsidies. Quote, because these entities advance the People's Republic of China's military modernization through the development and integration of advanced artificial intelligence research. End quote. The US is also expanding licensing requirements on foundries, companies that manufacture chips for external customers, and packaging companies seeking to export advanced semiconductors.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the same day,
Dude, I'm still surprised.
Introduced stricter.
I'm so. U.S. labels that's Chinese. This is it's from BBC. Fuck you. Was BBC? Oh, it was also IGN too. That's so stupid. Yeah, the fact that they did that is so dumb. I guess what is their alongside Better Cat has been added to their list that classifies them as Chinese. I guess they're saying that through major investing in several video game companies, they're trying to throw propaganda and I guess nationalize people. I don't know. Still a company that owns Riot Game. Oh yeah, that's right, Riot Games. That's the other one. Yeah, Riot Games and GGG. Oh yeah, Larian Studios. Yeah. Yeah, Epic. Yeah. New department events list. Chinese phone manufacturer Xiaomi was added to the same. From the statement of Tencent's Danny Marty says this has no impact on our business, but will be working to remove themselves from. Yes. In a one-pager published by the Department of the U.S. government cites military civil fusion, or MCF, a strategy that says that Chinese government uses to combine civilian research and commercial success to further advance its military. Oh, okay. So basically, them releasing video games to the global market and having a success where internationally people are buying the game and they can play it, and that's in turn funding the government of the Chinese party, and that in turns advance their military because you're giving them money for the video games. Hence why the U.S. government has list Chinese companies as suspect of working with. This is so stupid. Oh my god. This is why nobody likes our government. Because they do stupid shit like this. It's like, why are you doing this? You know... Basically, the U.S. government likes getting into double standards. Basically, the U.S. government is like, it's my way or the highway, right? Some fucking idiots. How do you guys do this?
From Later Storm, appreciate the tag, about a statement from a dev studio named Team Kill Media on their upcoming game, which is titled Code Violet. And this is a pretty dang hilarious one. I hope you guys enjoy this. Let's take a look. Before we get to their statement, let's see what the game actually is. The other day on January 17th, PlayStation posted the Code Violet announcement trailer. The bio says, developed by Team Kill Media, Code Violet is a third-person action horror game where you take on the role of Violet Sinclair, a girl plucked from the past who must unravel the mysteries of the Ion bioengineering complex as she avoids, hides, or fights against the creatures who have overrun it. And we can see the beginning of the trailer here, which opens on her feet, and yeah. That's what's going on with this? This looks,
what's up with their ankles?
This looks all kind of messed up. It's looking like an elbow, like an arm.
Yeah,
or something.
what the
I don't know what they did to her. I don't think they need to worry about PC players messing their character up. They need to worry about whatever they're doing to her already. But okay, with that context, let's go over to Twitter and see their official statement about why no PC games allowed.
Oh, it's an Unreal
game. For those
game.
asking us about a PC version of Code, the reason we are not bringing it to PC is we do not want anyone modding vulgar versions of the main character, as well as other characters in the game. We hold our voice actresses and actors with high regard.
We are going to disallow because we don't like people modding our characters and trying to do weird stuff to our characters, I guess. I don't know. By putting them in like risque outfit. I don't even know, I guess. Positions, I don't know, vulgar positions, saying vulgar things, I don't know, whatever they want to do. But this doesn't... People can just make fan art still. Like, what? And then they're gonna post it on social media. So they're already going to make vulgar versions. So why are you doing this? We hold our voice actress and actors with high regard.
As well as our artistic vision for the game and story, and reject
I'm so confused.
form of destroying that with sexual mods.
It doesn't do
making
anything.
a joke out of our art and possibly tarnishing the reputation of our voice actresses and actors is not.
If they were trying to make this like a security concern, yeah, there's no What? What are you You're not gonna stop people.
Extra money we can make. So yeah, an extremely grandstandy, extremely preachy, soapboxy sort of tweet.
Okay, so what? They're not gonna be able to get modded character models anymore. So what? They're just gonna draw their own fan art.
And as you might expect, they're largely getting mocked by the internet for this. So now let's also take a look at what people are saying in response. At Team Kill Media, welcome to Xbox.
I was like, yeah, what the fuck just happened?
What people are...
I died to Moon Knight's ult and then got rocket rezzed into the same ult and died again. Someone please actually end my suffer.
Are saying in response. At Team Kill Media, welcome to Xbox. And they say it will be exclusive to PS5. A top response to them there says, so it has nothing to do with that pathetic respect the actors excuse. Got it. Another top response says, yeah, it's probably because of the modding, a lol, and posting their previous game Quantum Error, which has generally unfavorable reviews over on Metacritic. We've also got this top response that points out some other issues with the take. They say, nice. So let's say a drawing artist or a cosplayer ends up doing a sexy version of your precious protagonist. Then you're gonna cry like this too? Can't believe I'm witnessing such weak devs, but suit yourself. We got plenty to play in mod, not to mention ambitious modders will still be able to extract your precious character models from PS5 version, excuse me, and do all kinds of things with them, especially after this silly statement, so good luck protecting your game. Guaranteed way of protection is to not release the game at all.
Yeah.
Modding is the work of passionate fans who not only spend money on games, but also spend their time because they are true fans. It keeps many games alive for years, even after official support and value of the game dwindle away with time. I guess your game will also disappear like that In any
yeah,
case,
that
it's
yeah,
PC
that
Gamer
too. Yeah, they forget like the modding community is actually pretty large in terms of how many games they fucking just start modding the crap out of. Any also it's probably just them for like them to work help their own their craft, right? Help them get them better at making mods. I won't miss your game, and even if you end up changing your
and
I
modder
won't be
myself,
giving a dime.
I won't miss your game.
Sweet.
And even if you end up changing your decision, I won't be giving a dime to such weak
Called them
devs.
weak.
Not on PS5 and not on PC. Dang, that guy held nothing back in that comment. So yeah, ultimately, I don't know why these devs even made that statement.
Yeah,
I don't believe their
this is
whole,
so
like,
weird.
oh, we're just scared of modders disrespecting our actress and
Yeah,
actors.
they're just like,
whole thing
what?
is really weird and pathetic. And the only thing that
Yeah, the fact that you guys just like you guys are just going to make people disrespect you now because of just what you just said right there.
could have made this tweet funnier from them is if there was also a bunch of hidden responses. But alas, we can at least give them credit that they're not hiding anything, although it would have been more funny, like I said. But hey, either way, a hilarious action from these devs. Don't know what they're thinking. Let me know your speculation in the comments. If you enjoyed the coverage, consider liking and or subscribing. Have a wonderful rest of your
Thanks.
weekend, and I'll see you in the next one.
R34. Yeah, I mean, they may even make like a 304 version, right? Oh. I like their characters are real people, you know. It was like the marketing tactic to draw interest because they really didn't need to say anything. I think about the children was so last decade. Let's go with think about the pixel. That's what happens when you can't separate fiction from reality. At this point, there's game trailers are just a giant do not buy warning, kind of considerate of them to do. Oh, dude, it's like a self-report, basically. This Dino Crisis clone, shovelware game, who cares? Weak doesn't even cut it in. This calls for I mean, people are just gonna make fan art if the game comes out and if they like the game. So it's like they're not okay. They're stopping one thing, right? But it doesn't stop the people from just posting it on social media and then adding the devs if they're on social media. Yeah. I don't know. Devs are being weird. Oh yeah, I forgot to finish this.
The export controls of their own, requiring AS.
Oh yeah, because we looked up that one thing and I completely forgot. Got fucking sidetracked.
Holdings NV and other Dutch semiconductor equipment makers to apply for licenses with the Dutch government. Of course, Beijing is not happy with any of these new rules. China's Ministry of Commerce said that China firmly opposes the restrictions, expressing, quote, "This action exemplifies the generalization of the concept of national security and the misuse of export controls and has severely hindered normal trade between countries, undermined market rules and international economic order, and affected global technological innovation." End quote. Now, these rules that were rolled out on Wednesday were actually building on...
I mean, even though we have... Right, even though we call some of these people foreign adversaries, right? We still have business deals, right? Diplomatic deals with them, right? Take, for instance, the whole semiconductor stuff. If we did not do that diplomatic deal to get some semiconductors, we'd be fucked, right? We wouldn't have any means to get semiconductors. Because all of it comes from fucking Taiwan.
US Bureau of Industry
I mean, there's other
Security,
places that
BIS,
are producing it too, but the most is produced out of Taiwan.
Last week, a sweeping regulation that tightens export controls on AI chips.
Yeah, I mean, if you, here, I can do you, we can Where are all the semiconductors made in? East Asia. Yeah, I mean, we do produce. We are kind of producing our own, it seems, but not a lot. 60% of the global semiconductors and 90% of most advanced chips. Go. Right? Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturer, TSMC. And then you got South Korea that does that has Samsung, yeah. And then China does 25%. Third in manufacturing supply chain, specializing in equipment and material production. Right. And then we have some facilities in Oregon, Arizona, Texas, and California. 12% capacity. U.S. companies hold 40% of the global IC design and market. Right, so it's all split up, but most of the global semiconductors and advanced chips.
And models designed to curb exploitation of loopholes by bad actors while favoring US hyperscalers, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, etc. The framework categorizes countries into 3 tiers with varying access levels. Tier 1, the United States and 18 major allies, granted the broadest access. Tier 2, countries with mixed US relations such as Singapore and Brazil face stricter caps. And Tier 3, arms embargoed nations, including China, see the strictest restrictions. The structure imposes caps on GPU purchases, introduces a validated end-user VEU program to regulate entities eligible for chip imports, and establishes new controls on AI models. Training AI models requiring over 1 × 10 to the power of 26 flops, equivalent to twice Llama 405B, is restricted to Tier 1 nations. Closed-weight models of the scale are also barred from export. US-based AI and chip research firm Semi-Analysis, in an excellent piece this week, observed that the rules explicitly favor US hyperscalers, ensuring their dominance in the AI compute market. They also jeopardize the business models of Tier 2 data center operators, particularly in regions like Malaysia, India, Brazil, and the Middle East, where AI infrastructure investment may decline. Tier 3 nations, primarily China, face significant barriers to acquiring AI compute resources through both hardware and cloud services.
We essentially blocked them all.
This part on the AI restrictions and the tech war with some extracts from a piece by Ben Thompson at Stratechery called AI Diffusion Regulations, Closing Loopholes, the Objections. Quote, "What is missing is the closing of the loopholes in terms of providing semiconductor manufacturing equipment. That absence is particularly pressing in the light of these regulations, which provide a massive incentive for non-Tier 1 countries to find alternative sources of chips, which in the long run means
right,
China.
That's why America
Purely
tried
Chinese
to start producing
chips
their own.
are not very competitive,
right.
however. Huawei's AI chip appears to have been manufactured
right, because
by
we didn't want to
TSMC,
rely on China
while
and Taiwan too
SMIC's
much.
7-nanometer chips are still very low volume and almost certainly very low yield,
But we
and
still
made
do.
almost entirely with Western equipment. China's ability to make its own AI chips with its own equipment is still
I mean, at the end of the day, we
and
still
any
have to
progress
work
in that
with
regard
a lot of these
will likely
countries.
be devoted entirely to China's own domestic demand. Still, this does lay the groundwork for a long-term decline of US chip dominance. Countries want chips, and they don't want to be told what to do with them. In this somewhat cataclysmic view of the world, there was value in the loopholes we talked about above. They were pressure valves of a sort. Sure, it was a pain for China to get GPUs on the black market, or to rent cloud GPUs, or get TSMC to make chips for a Huawei shell company, but all these failures were examples of China's benefiting from TSMC's chip-making prowess, which itself is dependent on Taiwan's unmarred existence. There is a world where the Commerce Department actually does close all of the loopholes, and the US gets AI on chips made in Taiwan, and China doesn't get anything.
Yeah.
What then is the most rational move for China?
Well, they
particularly
go to
if they
Taiwan
assume that
and
AI
make
will
them give them
transform
shit.
military capabilities. End quote. Next up, we have one more development to cover, but just quickly, if you're getting some value from today's episode of China Update, I have a tremendous favor to ask. That is just to hit the like button, and if you're a regular viewer and you have not done so already, it's also a big help if you subscribe. Hitting subscribe and the bell notification button means that you'll be on top of these updates as they're released. It's also a massive help for the channel as it tells the algorithm to show this to new people. Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee links are also in the description below for those who want to help keep the channel financially sustainable. I rely primarily on your support, subscriber support, to keep going. In fact, I restrict sponsored features so that the majority of the support comes directly from individual subscribers. Thank you so much, everybody, for the ongoing support. Next up, and finally for today, as we discussed in yesterday's exploration of Friday's economic data, one of the few bright spots in the numbers was Chinese trade, specifically China's export performance. Earlier this week, we discussed China's record trade surplus of almost $1 trillion, and I explained why this isn't as positive as one would think. Well, the following day, Nobel Prize-winning economist Paul Krugman penned a piece called China's Very Bad, No Good Trillion-Dollar Trade Surplus. It's a sign of weakness, not strength, in which he made several of the points I did, plus some others. We will end today's video by examining some of this article, which is worth a read in full for those who have the time. It's too long for us to unpack it all here, but we will touch on a few salient points, which we're now quoting directly. Last year, China ran history's first trillion-dollar trade surplus. Here's one of the many charts circling, this one from Bloomberg. Should China be celebrating its achievement? No. This surplus is a sign of weakness, not strength. A symptom of China's apparent inability to grapple with its fundamental economic problems. But China's trading partners won't be celebrating either. Giant Chinese trade surpluses create problems in other countries too, and China's attempt to export its problems, for that's what this amounts to, will meet a protectionist backlash. In fact, this would have happened even if Trump weren't about to take office. I often run into people who believe that a successful economy, one achieving rapid productivity growth and leading in cutting-edge technology, will both run big trade surpluses because it's so competitive and attract lots of foreign capital because it's such a good investment. But that arithmetic is impossible. In fact, when an economy surges past its rivals in productivity and technology, it usually does attract a lot of foreign investment, but that means that it runs a trade deficit, not a surplus. Conversely, when nations experience huge declines in trade deficits or increases in trade surpluses, it's usually because something bad has happened. The Chinese economy is having big problems adjusting to the prospect of slower economic growth. Extremely high rates of investment are no longer sustainable in the face of diminishing returns. Yet the government remains unwilling to do the obvious and promote higher consumer spending. Running big trade surpluses is one way to compensate for weak domestic demand, and China has been promoting big trade surpluses by weakening the value of its currency. Without question, China's big trade surplus is helping to keep its economy afloat, for now, but the weak yuan policy is almost certain to backfire, big time, because the rest of the world won't accept these surpluses for
There's a
very
lot
long.
of fucking
Regional job loss in the
currencies
face of
dying.
import surges
Because
generate
the
a powerful
fucking
political
inflation.
backlash. So the rest of the world just isn't going to accept China's attempt to export its way out of policy failure. Trump would probably slap high tariffs on China no matter what. But that giant surplus means that Europe, the UK, and probably everyone else will do the same. But while the response to China's trillion-dollar surplus could and should be much smarter than I fear it will be, that surplus is bad news for China and a problem for everybody else. It's a sign of inability to grapple with the nation's problems, and it won't provide economic relief for very long. Here ends the direct quotes and today's episode of China Update. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Have a good Sunday. Have a restful weekend.
Thank you.
And I'll see you for a
for the
new week
news.
of China Update tomorrow on Monday.
When Russia moved on Ukraine, the collective West went after Russian citizen assets held outside Russia, as well as seizing Russian government holdings. Probably talking about the sanctions. Right. I wonder if Xi could survive similar actions if he were to move on Taiwan. It seems the most wealthy Chinese, i.e. party members and affiliated individuals, are moving assets overseas to countries that they would effectively be at war with. USA, Canada, UK, Australia, etc. Yeah, I mean, let's be real. All these countries do it, right? Even the US has been doing this, right? Setting up military bases all over the fucking place and sending ammunition and shit and firearms, right? It would be highly entertaining to watch the domestic fallout, the Xi faction, if the wealthy Chinese, aka the CCP, suddenly lost all their overseas holdings, cash, land holdings, business interests, and so on. I realized this morning I no longer bothered to listen to any other channel for my China news and via YouTube. Great compliment to the source on the web. Keep up the superb work. Well deserved for help Chinese out by reducing any made in China purchases whenever humanely made. Your work is much appreciated. No one else is doing what you're doing. Keep it up. His name is Tony, and 100k subs is a sign of strength. Yeah, the fact that we have so many made in China stuff is like, it just hurts everyone and China. Literally. The fact that we're not like, I mean, we do import like other stuff from other countries, but most of the things that are made in China, it's not really good. Because right, you're giving China money, but their currency is so fucking shit, right? It's like all your money is going to them, but they can barely use it because their conversion rates are so awful. That's true treatment of how good the channel keep. Practice start squad. Let's make Generation 6 computer chips. Dear Tony, I'm always ready to do an extra day of excellent. Yep. Yeah, everyone's just saying thanks for the information. Pretty much. And then they add in their own spin sometimes.
Been following this game called Avowed. It's set to release in about 1 month. Have you guys been following this game called Avowed? It's set to release in about 1 month from today.
Yeah.
It's been a bit of a contentious
Jesus,
game
what
in
the
itself. For example, back in November, That Park Place had the headline Avowed art director exposed by Elon Musk for alleged racist and illegal hiring practices, Musk saying that it won't end well for him. Conversely,
I have to go back. What the fuck is this? Like a fucking oh my god. Like the fucking elongated skull. Jesus, you're fucking
exposed by
your
Elon Musk
anatomy's all
for alleged
fucked up.
racist and illegal hiring practices, Musk saying that it won't end well for him. Conversely, over on Kotaku, they had a headline that reads, "The campaign against Avowed reveals the bigotry that fuels the anti-woke," saying in its crusade against Obsidian's action RPG, the anti-DEI mob has given the game away. Returning to the news going on today, though, there's been something quite odd occurring. As gamers
I don't know if
reporting
I'm
that
gonna
Avowed
get
has
this game.
completely
Part of me is like, I want to try it out just to see. But another part of me is like, I don't really want to waste my money on this bullshit.
remove their entire discussion page, their discussion forum over on Steam, from the internet. And indeed, checking this out for myself as of recording, when you go to the Steam page and click the discussion forum, it doesn't take you to that page, it simply loops back to the store page. For those not familiar with Steam, this is not normal behavior.
That's not
Normally,
normal.
when
That's
you
not
click the
supposed to
discussion
happen.
page, it takes you to that forum. It doesn't loop back to the store page. And over on the Avowed subreddit, This post from 6 hours ago says Avowed is missing from this user's Steam library. And they say, hey, I decided to search Avowed on my library and it's gone for some reason. The purchase is still there on my account. The game page on the store says that I already have the game, but I just can't find it. Any of you with the same problem? A top response reading, something's up. I can't access the community hub for Avowed either. It just redirects back to the store page. Another comment says that on SteamDB, there are some interesting updates for the game. We can see 19 hours ago, removed advanced access. And right below that, it reads that the app was hidden to the public and that SteamDB no longer has any access to Avowed.
What? What the fuck?
Doesn't seem to have made any official statement regarding what they're doing to their Steam page. However, they did make this tweet from today that says Avowed is officially 1 month out from launch. This causing people to come to the conclusion that the game
maybe they're doing something, so they're fixing up the links or something.
Is not being delayed, and that the whole Steam page thing has some other explanation behind it. As I mentioned, the game has already been rather contentious and has received a lot of criticism. Just caused many to speculate that they're not happy with those discussions being on their Steam page, and that's why they've removed access to it. But really, it's anyone's guess. Let me know what you think about this mysterious action in the comments. And
that's
also, if you enjoyed the coverage, please
it is a little weird,
liking
right?
and or subscribing. Appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next one.
Would they really just? No, they wouldn't just fuck up their discussion board just because they were getting a lot of hate. No, I don't think they would do that. There has to be something going on in the background. Maybe they're updating information or something. Yeah, look at Greta. Fuck Jerry, she said.
Israel.
Okay, that's very edgy. You can be in Germany and say F Germany and say F Israel, right? Israel, which has done more to make the desert bloom and created drip irrigation, and okay, fine, blah, blah, blah. But yes, you can join the jihadists and the people who want to destroy the West, because there's nothing that Hamas and the jihadists love more than climate change and Green New Deals. But the real idea there is that what the left has become worldwide right now.
Yeah, and they fly the Palestinian flag. And then they're actually fucking Hamas terrorist motherfuckers.
It's anti-Western. It has become anti-free speech. It has become anti-individual. It has become anti all of the good things that led us to kind of where we are at right now.
So stupid. I don't know why people fucking suck up to Greta Thunberg so much. Like, she's ruined a lot of fucking shit.
You never know.
When Ashton Kutcher witnessed his girlfriend's murder. Levy. Oh, wait, I'm pretty sure I was subscribed to him at one point, and now I'm not. That's Google's work. I'll just...
And sometimes you never know what's going on behind the scenes. So Ashton Kutcher was supposed to go on this date with this girl named Ashley, right? Y'all remember Ashton, right? You know, that dude from that 70s show? He did a couple movies and all that.
Oh, I heard about this. Yeah, this one's weird.
Ashton Kutcher is a star. You know, he Mr. Money Boy now. So he don't show up on time. He hit her up. He like, hey, yo, you know, I'm showing.
Yeah, so this one was so weird. Because she was literally murdered when they were about to go on a date.
Up late and all that. She said, all right, baby, I'm just about to hop in the shower. No biggie. He said, all right, Ty. Now, this part's important. He called her. This conversation took place at 8:24 p.m.
Yeah, this is this is a weird case.
At 10:45, he was hella late. He was rehearsing for his show, that 70s show. So he knocks on her door. No answer. He said, something must be wrong. I'm Ashton Kutcher. So he calls her. She don't pick up, right? He looks through her window, but he said he didn't want to be that dude looking through somebody's window, so he kind of like takes a little peek. He sees that's a little messy, and there's red stuff on the floor. He thinks it's red wine. He says, all right, let me just leave. And this is where Ashton has a problem. A little while later, he gets a call saying his friend Ashley has been... He says, oh my God, when did that happen? They said the night of your date. He freaks out because he was there that night. So he calls up the police. He said, look, I ain't do it. They said, do what? He said, you know that girl Ashley that got... They said, oh yeah. He said, my fingerprints was on her door. You're gonna see call records of me calling her, but I ain't do it. And well, the police believed him. And then they found out who did it. And here's where it starts to get wicked. It turns out it was this guy, the Hollywood Ripper, a serial killer that
that's who. Yeah, the Hollywood
3
Ripper.
to 10 people. But that's not where it gets wicked.
Yeah.
Where it gets wicked is they call up Ashton Kutcher. They tell him, bro, you're going to go up there, you're going to say what happened, and then we're going to put the Hollywood Ripper in jail. Ashton Kutcher said, all right, cool. The Hollywood Ripper's lawyer, though, says, I got other plans. His lawyer says Ashton Kutcher's story, in fact, listen closely, proves that the Hollywood Ripper couldn't have done this. This all makes sense in a second. The Hollywood Ripper's lawyer says that Ashley was seeing someone else besides Ashton Kutcher. Ain't that right, Michael? Michael, Ashley's building manager, was brought to the stand. He said, yes, it's true. I was with Ashley. The lawyer then says, when did you last see Ashley? Michael says, the night Ashton Kutcher was supposed to pick her up at 8:24 p.m. Does that time sound familiar? The lawyer says, Ashton, didn't you call Ashley telling her you were going to pick her up at 8:24 p.m.? Ashton says, yes. The lawyer says, what did she say? She says she was about to take a shower. Y'all remember? That dude Michael says he was there when she got the call from Ashton. He said as soon as she hopped in the shower, though, he left. The Hollywood Ripper's lawyer was like, that's weird, though, because people called the police at about 8:25, 8:30, saying that they heard screams coming from her house. And again, Michael, you said you was there at 8:24. Either you're Usain Bolt in a mask or you did it. Michael was like, bro, I don't know what to tell you. I literally left. The detectives came in. They're like, you know, we cleared Michael. He was very cooperative. We believe he left. And that's when the Hollywood Ripper came in. The Hollywood Ripper's lawyer's like, well, I guess it's y'all's word against mine. Ain't that right, jury? The jury said it is y'all's word against his, but we choose their word. Hollywood Ripper, you guilty. The lawyer said, what? The jury said, yeah, there's too much other evidence. There's too many other women. We think he did it. The lawyer said, damn, what's the sentence? The jury said, no, there's no sentence. We just gonna give him the penalty. The lawyer said, oh, damn. Well, at least we tried. Hollywood Ripper, I take Visa and MasterCard. All right. I don't want to get too into the Hollywood Ripper story because this story was supposed to mainly be about Ashton. But to give you a little bit of context, the Hollywood Ripper lived in Ashley's neighborhood, and Ashley's friends said that he was obsessed with her. So that's what helped get him locked up for this. Now, all my folks on TikTok, is probably my last video on TikTok for the time being. But if you do want to see more stories, I'm going to be continuously uploading to YouTube, Instagram, and probably that new app. I'm probably also going to be starting a podcast channel pretty soon so people can listen to longer stories. So be on the lookout for that as well. Oh, I'm also going to be streaming as well. So, I mean, again, for the time being, to all my TikTok folks, it's been a fun ride. But, you know, check me out on other platforms if you enjoyed the story.
See, I had a problem. I need to finish my homework, but the Zevi post, here's what. Fake Visa killed me. Who was with Danny Masterson that night. Ashton Kutcher called him in a panic because he actually went into the house and discovered Ashley's body. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember that too. He was afraid if he called the police, he might be a suspect. It would ruin his career. Yeah, Masterson, with the help of some of his scientists, got together with Kutcher and came up with this. Told the police. Don't know how true that is, but it's an interesting possibility. I mean, given the situation, yeah. I mean, it was weird that Ashton Kutcher didn't like call the police or anything when he got there. The decisions he made are very interesting. During his real life, Ashton Kutcher is just a Hollywood David Dobrik. The fuck is David Dobrik? Oh, the Nickelodeon guy. Yeah. Well, there's since joining Dobrik charge now 20 known for his 4-minute and 20-second weekly vlogs, which showcase him and his friends, also known as the Vlog Squad, running around pulling. Oh, he's one of those guys. making like the vlogs, but here we have controlled space and controlled environment. Oh. That's why. I see. He's one of those guys. He actually rang his rapist mate from the 70s show after seeing the wine that he thought was blood. They decided to do nothing. That's why the Ripper got away. He didn't want the heat of being involved, but he put himself in the middle even more and let the Ripper kill again. Well, I mean, it's hard to say if that's actually. So supporting damage, so he still got a problem.
The benefits of cultural enrichment that has very loudly announced its presence in recent years is public noise pollution. Apparently for these people, earphones are too much of an inconvenience. And while thanks to the ban, TikTok may have temporarily gone silent in the US, in the UK it's making public transport unbearable due to the sheer prevalence of people playing
Why don't they just use a different platform?
TikTok videos out loud. Even liberal Guardianistas are outraged. But it's not just loud music. Private phone conversations are, well, not very private anymore.
What? Yeah, no, I'm on my way there now. Yeah?
You're a little bit loud. I was trying to.
No, I'm not loud.
My phone's
no, I'm not
loud.
loud.
Speaker and talk loudly on this bus. The notion of exhibiting some kind of decorum seems to be an alien concept. Seems a lot of them think public means the right to publicly assault everyone's senses.
Why do people feel like on public transportation they could tell people to turn their music down? This is public transportation for a reason.
Which is why you should you can't do your own music while
I can play whatever I want to play. This is my phone. This is public transportation.
Being asked to be quiet only seems to make them louder.
Oh, you have me? Did you tell me? Yes. Okay. So I've asked you something.
Fucking PvP, man.
I said, are you a psycho? Hang on.
Oh,
What did you
God.
say? Can I turn down my music? I've asked you many times.
Subway station, actual PvP.
While annoying loud music on public transport is nothing new, adolescents and teenagers have been doing it for decades. Now it's
transportation
so-called
of just
adults doing
PvPing
it too.
people.
But what
Good
is
luck.
relatively recent is this new phenomenon of when you're sitting in the back of a taxi or interacting with a delivery driver and you randomly hear them talking to a mystery person in a loud foreign language. Without fail, every single Indian courier and delivery driver is using a Bluetooth headset to carry on a conversation with someone back in India for the entire duration of their shift. Apparently, in many parts of the world, this is completely normal. Anglo mind cannot comprehend 8-hour WhatsApp calls where you speak only intermittently. This unites us all, from Hispanics to Indians to Africans. Arabs will loudly FaceTime their relatives back home on public transport. Very few cultures have manners around noise pollution. Average London bus experience.
Oh, Jesus, what is happening?
Science discovers loud music on the bus coefficient. Forget GDP or TFR as a measure of social health. Scientists have discovered a new metric, the LMC. Science shows that once it gets too high, society mysteriously
on the bus
declines,
go round and
scientists are at a loss to
round
explain why. Meanwhile, in Tokyo...
No one talks on the phone in public. Yeah, everyone's just quietly looking at their phone and shit.
Legendary Chuck Norris recently saw a video he made and I was shocked. He's in his 80s and he's still working out, kicking butt and staying active. What's even more shocking is that he's stronger, can work out longer,
he's doing the same ad
over for his grandkids. He did this by just making one change. He says he still feels like he's in his 50s. His wife even started doing this one thing too and she's never felt better. She says she feels 10 years younger. Her body looks leaner and she has energy all day. day. Chuck made a special video that explains everything. Make sure you watch it by going to chuckdefense.com/PJW or by clicking the link below this video. It'll change the way you think about your health.
God damn
Once
it,
again,
Chuck
that's
Norris.
chuckdefense.com/PJW. Click on the link in the description
Still doing
box
the
down
same
below
shit.
to watch the video now. You won't believe how simple it is. Just a reminder that the legendary Chuck Norris is a whopping 84 years old and has more energy than me. He discovered he could create dramatic changes to his health by simply focusing on 3 things that sabotage our body as we age. Watch his method by clicking the link in the description box below. chuckdefense.com/PJW. X is literally deluged with examples of people complaining about public noise pollution to the extent where it's clearly becoming an epidemic. I'm not exaggerating. I've been on about 10 trains in Britain this week, and on half of them, the thing that's happening right now happens. Someone plays loud music on their phone and then shoots everyone a defiant, aggressive look to say, "Don't you dare effing complain." It's now almost impossible to sit in a cafe, pub, train, etc. without having to listen to someone talking at full volume on a call, having their music or YouTube video blasting away.
I don't know
This
why
guy's been
people do.
shouting,
That's so fucking
shouting
annoying.
on a FaceTime call for the past
They
30
can't
minutes. I've
just
given up on
like
life.
turn it
Spotted on
down or
Thames
get
Link
like some
bathroom, absolutely
headphones or
covered
some
in
shit.
graffiti, casual littering, people listening to TikToks out loud, fare evasion. Welcome to public transport in
Littering
Britain.
people.
I'm so sick of people being noisy everywhere, in the park, along the river, walking down the street, wherever I go. Before long, some noisy bastard will be having a loud speakerphone conversation. We're assailed by frankly awful music in every shot. People's car stereos are turned up so loud I can hear them from 100 feet away. Please, could everyone shut up? On train, lad with feet on seat playing music. Speakerphone call. What is wrong with people, or is it me? Nah, it's not you.
Heard your top good. Let me see, boo. So fat, I want to feed you. All right, let me calm down, cause let me show you something.
Apparently, though, this is all
Fucking
our
dumbass.
problem. Only rich white people like peace and quiet. Average day walking through central London.
Oh shit.
Gyms. While no means libraries, they're normally pretty quiet.
Fucking
You know,
with
people just getting
people.
on with their workout. Well, not anymore.
What is even happening? What the fuck?
Traversing through a big city has always been a
the
somewhat
fuck?
noisy affair. In the past, at least it was tolerable. Now it's increasingly like living in India.
Oh my god.
Well, it's 7 a.m. here in Delhi. It's too hectic to walk here. My throat hurts from the pollution. So I've jumped on the back of a cycle rickshaw.
Where in major cities, noise levels average dB levels far
India.
higher than what the
Gotta
World
love
Health
India.
Organization deems acceptable.
One
And
of
now in
the
London,
noisiest
the comparatively
countries.
gentle hum of a black
The
cab is
world.
being drowned out by a new sound on the streets. The blaringly aggressive ear cancer unleashed by tuk-tuks.
What the fuck are those gross things?
While
What
you may
in the
think noise
fuck?
pollution is just a minor nuisance, it's actually
Yeah.
incredibly unhealthy and even life-threatening. A Harvard study found that every 5 decibel increase in the average 24-hour noise level was associated with a 34%
Oh,
increase
really?
in heart attacks,
Oh,
strokes,
because
and other
of-
serious
right,
heart-related
because it
problems.
gets your-
Elevated
yeah.
ambient noise increases stress levels, triggers
Yeah,
the
the stre-
brain's
yeah.
fight or flight response, and
Yeah.
is directly tied to an increase in anxiety medication use and
Oh yeah.
depression.
Oh
As
yeah.
part of our
Oh
drive-
yeah. If people are already have already anxiety, oh yeah, that fucking torches them, dude. Oh man, I forgot about that. Yeah, if you have depression or anxiety or anything like that, and you just go out on the streets and hear all this shit, oh man, that's rough. Yeah.
Strive to create a vibrant, culturally enriched diversitopia. We're not just importing the people, we're importing the noise too.
Yeah. I mean, Right, at a
If you
certain
value
point, it
what I
does
do
take a
and you want
toll
to help
on you.
support me, please visit
Just constantly hearing loud noises.
pauljosephlawson.locals.com and either pledge a one-time donation or subscribe to join my community, get early access videos, and message me directly. And exclusive
well,
live
it
streams
stresses
coming
you
soon
out,
too,
literally.
promise. Check out the Locals link down in the description. And don't forget to take a look at the brand new website, modernity.news. That's where you'll find all my content, including
Does the past
exclusive
stereotypes
articles.
exist
That's
for a reason?
modernity.news.
Notice the past. Yeah, I noticed too. They say racism is taught. These people are teaching everybody to hate. Offended by everything, ashamed of nothing, entitled to everything, contributing. Damn. Remember, kids? Some cultures are better than others. Oh, shit. Civilization isn't for them, it's for us. UK now a third world country. When my daughter was 3 months old, she had a bleed in her brain and was put on ventilation. My husband and I were seating outside the room at 3 a.m. absolutely terrified, next to playing music in a hospital at night. Asked him to lower the volume. This guy jumped on him, screaming, say it, come on, call me the word. Yeah, I mean, what can you do? People are cracked sometimes. Disrespecting you as part of their culture, yeah. Went to Japan and it was national news because he was so disruptive and disrespectful. I know, I remember. Who was it? Oh, what? No, not. Johnny Somali isn't even black. What the fuck is this? Yeah, what the fuck? Why are people calling Johnny's... This is brain rot culture. Never mind. What do all these irritating loud noises offenders have in common? Never would that people who have contributed so little to the world will have so much to talk about. No standard behavior is a sure sign of a failed society. They've been like this for decades. We up the stereotypes, offended by everything, ashamed of nothing, entitled to everything, contributing. Well, he added the living up to stereotypes. Alright. Yeah, I mean, I hate to say it, but yeah, sometimes people just literally play into the stereotype sometimes. Whether it's, whether they're doing it consciously or subconsciously. Let's take a look at this Baltimore bullshit.
Over how the principal of Holabird Middle School in Dundalk responded to a water issue. A leaked email to staff says
water piping issue and all that, so they had to fucking shit and piss in buckets. Oh god.
Bathroom for students to use. That email went viral on social media, sparking widespread concern.
You know, most of the time when I see a story cross my wire and I have to think of an intro for one of these videos, I got it right away. It just pops into the brain, 10,000 IQ take, and I'm ready to drop that upon you because that's what I do for a living, and I'm good at my job. But in this particular case, my only response was, what? Like what? Really? That's the best solution that you have?
Yeah,
You're
the best
put a bucket.
The best solution was to get buckets, not a porta potty, right? Not calling some, you know, not calling some ways to get some porta potties. No, it was buckets. What?
In the corner of the bathroom because you don't have water running in your public school. That's really the best you could think of in this particular situation. You're not going to
buy
shut
some
down
porta
the public
potties
school because,
what
you
the
know,
fuck?
there's no running water in said public school. You're instead gonna put a bucket and tell the kid to go do poo-poo and pee-pee in the bucket.
In the bucket,
that's what's going on right here. That's what's actually
You
happening.
might as well just tell them to bring bottles and
My
shit.
name is Sean, and
Bring
today
their
we're
own
talking about
toilet
an absolutely
paper.
crazy story out of the city of Baltimore, where again the water stopped working in the public school, and the Baltimore school principal decided that the solution to that would be to have the children's take a crap in a bucket. Because for some reason that made sense to him. Now we're gonna get into this, but before we do, I want to say that on Saturday and Sunday, February 15th and February 16th, they are having DebateCon 5 in Newark, New Jersey. Get your tickets, a link in the description.
I don't even know any of these people.
February 16th, that would be the Sunday. So if you want to see me in person do a debate, I think it will be absolutely wonderful. Again, the link to tickets in the description.
You close the school. It's not 1920 anymore. You know what I mean? You close the school, period.
So what I love about this particular news segment is that within the first 10 seconds, they pull over this one guy, this one sensible guy that is still living in the city of Baltimore, and he provides the adequate solution to this issue, which is you close the school for a day. The water runs out, or you don't have running water in the school building on a Friday, you just take the day off. It's an emergency. It's not 1920. You don't put buckets up and tell kids to take a crap in the bucket. But apparently, the principal of the school does not have the same level of common sense as a random passerby that the local news ends up pulling over in order to ask them about this particular situation. And here's the crazy thing. A lot of people are going to say, Sean, you know what? Underfunded minority schools, consequences of redlining and evil white racism that's baked into our system, the systemic structures, you know, the structural systemics. But I just want to point out for everybody out there in the audience,
it's a goddamn government institution. They can spend some government money to get some fucking porta potties or close down the school for a day. Come the fuck on.
In the entire country each and every year. The problem is that we see, by the way, time and time again in Democrat-controlled areas, is that the funding is completely misallocated.
Misappropriated.
Misappropriated. And many cases, it is
same with California, probably same with New York, right?
Again, has 61% minority student population.
Just look at the fire. Just look at the fucking fires in California. Had no water and anything.
Is an ideal ratio for learning, but guess what? The building doesn't have regular, ordinary maintenance. I mean, honestly, how many times do I have to say this in videos? The basic things, the basic managerial things that people don't notice.
Yeah, exactly. Literally basic managerial things never done for some. Right? Didn't organize anything. Never, for whatever reason, just fucked up and just forgot to use their brain, I guess.
Government does not do because they know that people don't notice them until there's a disaster. Meanwhile, all this money is being flooded throughout the system. A bunch of different administrators and people are getting paid. They're stealing millions, if not billions of dollars, but you don't have running water in the schools. And again, you don't have intelligent people who are smart enough to realize that maybe, just maybe, you should cancel a school day if there's no running water in the building. Maybe get that problem fixed. It's a Friday. Get it fixed over the weekend, and on Monday you can open up the schools, and then this wouldn't be a big deal. Instead, the solution from the principal is to send out an email with photos in the email of buckets that they place in the bathroom for toilet emergencies.
Well, as you know, when things go wrong at schools, principals are trained to do what they think is best to resolve the situation. And tonight, a closer look at what Baltimore County school officials are calling an alleged instruction at one school today.
So first of all, I just want to say I do love Fox 45 and Project Baltimore, and I love all the different characters that reemerge in these local news segments, but this guy in particular is one of my favorites, and not just because of his hard-hitting reporting, but because he still has the capacity to be surprised. Notice that he has to read this off of his phone during the course of his segment because it's so dumb, it's so ridiculous, that again, he cannot imagine that this is just a sensible response, so he's double-checking in real time describe that this is actually what happened at this middle school. Praise to this man. He is a hero. Go look at all the different various segments on the disaster that is Baltimore, because this is definitely one of them. And again, I will add, this is not a funding issue. The Baltimore public schools have almost the top, or they're in the top 5 in school funding each and every year in terms of per pupil spending.
Yep.
This
They have
is
the
a
money, it's
management
just
issue,
they're
a
retarded.
mismanagement issue, an absolute disaster, and again, a lower level management issue in that the principal is actually stupid. He's actually a dumb man. He's actually a not smart, because instead of closing the school on a Friday, he decided it would be much, much better to put buckets in there and then take pictures of the buckets and then shoot them out in emails to everyone saying we're making kids crap in buckets.
At Hollyburg Middle School in Dundalk, a daytime dilemma for students. With no water in the building Friday morning, questions over how to deal with bathroom breaks developed. Then a decision allegedly made by the principal, seen in this email sent internally to staff, leaked.
Wait, I'm sorry. It said Halliburton STEM Middle School. You're in a STEM what? You're doing a STEM middle school and you're doing this? What the fuck? How are you principal? What the fuck?
Principal, seen in this email sent internally to staff,
this is
leaked to the public, saying if there's a student who has a severe bathroom issue, we'll have a bucket they can use inside the bathroom. The email and photos then flooded social media, triggering bathroom backlash.
Oh, actually, quick correction right there. I said the principal is an idiot. I said he is a fool. But looking at the name of the principal in this particular school, I can actually identify this person as a female.
Booker.
Yolanda Booker is the genius behind the
holy shit, it's a woman
bucket idea. That's the woman that's behind
Yolanda
the
Booker.
Email and photos then flooded social media, triggering
why the
backlash.
fuck?
I said I saw it was all over Facebook. When I saw that, I said there's no way that can be real.
So right off the top, I just want to point out that bucket is from Home Depot. And the reason why I want to point this out is because Home Depot definitely does not want the fact that their bucket with their logo is the one that is being used in this particular segment, and that is why they're actually blurring it out at the local news level. But if you pay attention to the shape of the logo and the color orange on the bucket, you know 100% that is a Home Depot bucket, which, by the way, I don't think this is the intended purpose for them as a replacement for a toilet when there's no water.
Don Hendricks, among parents perplexed over the idea of children using buckets in the bathroom.
At home, they use the bathroom, not in the school in a bucket. Now, if we're out in a campsite somewhere, going camping in the woods, different story. But it's only my family around. It's not everyone else around.
So again, they go back to sensible white guy, which is what I'm going to call this person, who is a parent of children that go to this school, in that 40-something% of non-minority students that are at the school. And he explains to the local news person that at home they use a toilet.
Messed up my hair
at home
they
have a regular ordinary bathroom. They don't make them poop in a bucket. That would be weird. That would be unusual. And then he kind of over explains this point by saying when we're camping or whatever, then yeah, sure, then you could do your business outside. But I assure you, this is not India, where 2/3 of the population don't have toilets. This is the United States of America, and I expect a government facility, which is what a public school is, to actually have a toilet, to actually have that present on the campus. And if they don't have it present on the campus, just close the school. It's okay. They can miss one day of school on a Friday because there's no running water in the entire building.
Chrissy Jackson,
I was in disbelief, first of all,
says when she learned about the principal's response to the water issue, she was at work, had her 10-year-old son picked up from school, who briefed her on the ordeal. Jackson on the phone with what he said.
His teacher told him at 10 o'clock in the morning, they better go use the bathrooms now before they put the buckets in there, because then the whole school will only be able to use the bathrooms in the buckets for emergencies only. And they had teachers and the principal blocking all of the bathroom doors.
So yeah, they call another parent right here, and the parent says that she had her child picked up from the school when they found out about this particular situation.
Why didn't you just close the school down for the day? What the fuck?
Again, just close the schools or do the repairs on the weekend. What the hell is wrong with you?
What the
and
fuck
the kid
is
ends
this?
up describing the situation to his mother, which is, yeah, they had teachers and principals that were guarding the door while
that
people
bitch
used
should
the
be out of a
bucket in
job.
emergency
Like, how is she a
because
principal?
apparently this is the best idea that they had in Baltimore
That
public
was
schools.
so
Again, I will point
terrible.
out that
Who
the
the
schools
fuck
are
makes
failing,
that kind of
and in part
choice?
that is because the students are raised by people who don't have good home lives and don't
Fucking
emphasize the importance of
Baltimore is
education. But it's
another.
also the people running the schools, the people who
Right,
thought
Baltimore
this
is
was a
another
good
state
idea
where
that
crime
are
is high.
responsible for these failing public schools. Make no
It's
mistake
like
about
all
it.
the
They don't have
Democrat
Mr.
states are
Clark
fucking
running these
retarded.
schools. Let us make no mistake about that. Morgan Freeman is not in the building trying to save all these different kids. They have a bunch of idiots running these schools, a bunch of lazy people, a bunch of absolute buffoons, and it shows each and every day and each and every time we hear a story out of the Baltimore public school system.
We reached out to Baltimore County school officials about the matter. A spokesperson responded with an email from the executive director of schools, saying in part, a water main break in the community caused very low water pressure at the school, which improved within an hour, and there was no impact on school operations or instruction. But for one parent,
my son was definitely impacted by it. He said, I was so happy that you sent somebody to pick me up because I really had to use the bathroom, and I wasn't going to use the bathroom in a bucket in the middle of the bathroom where other kids could be in there and see me.
Yeah, so the school says no big deal. There was a water main break. We did the best that we could, and this didn't cause a disruption or anything of the sort. And then they cut to a parent who says, I was really glad you picked me up from school, Mom, because I had to use the bathroom, and I didn't want a bunch of people watching me go to the bathroom in a bucket. It made me very, very uncomfortable. It made me feel very unusual. And yeah, obviously that would be unusual, but apparently it's the best possible solution according to Yolanda Booker, the principal for this school. And again, today, one of our absolute buffoons of the day.
well, school officials went on to say that restroom use during that outage was against the school system's acceptable practices, and they say they are investigating the matter.
Yeah, so unsurprisingly, this is going to trigger an investigation. Spoiler alert, the principal's an idiot. I just saved you a bunch of time hiring investigators to look into this. The principal's an absolute doofus, and if you have a problem where water is shut down for your entire school, just close the school. Just have the parents pick up their kids. It is not a big deal. It is not the end of the world. But putting buckets in the bathrooms just shows me that you're an absolute buffoon, and maybe, just maybe, you shouldn't be in charge of anybody else's kids.
Like,
you know
holy
what? Those
fuck.
are just my thoughts. I want to know what you guys think about this down in the comments below. If you like the video, show them by leaving a
Parent
like.
was forcing a child to use a bucket at home, they would be child protective services. Yeah. Holy
this
shit.
has been me talking about more madness in Baltimore
Has
public
controlled
schools.
Baltimore for like
next time.
last 100 years. No water, no fire suppression, no public occupancy license, no public occupancy license, no non-familial familia out of gatherings of more than 10. 30K per student, and this is what you get. That money went somewhere. No running water, no school. Well, Baltimore schools are not known for high intellect. Will say they're making the kids shit in a bucket. Then the Democrats will run 1,000 articles saying Trump is lying because those buckets were for decoration. In mind, Baltimore schools collectively have a budget of $4 billion. $4 billion, and the kids have to use buckets? Where the hell does all the money go? Damn. Jesus. Oh yeah, why not strike?
Hosts among the dumbest people on
Kudos, Joe Rogan mocks Sonny Houston after husband arrested in Rico
television.
Sonny's dumb.
If you average out the View hosts, among the dumbest people on television.
Sonny's dumb. Certainly not the brightest person. And what you just said just doesn't make any sense. It's just like so silly to say. It's not a well thought out. It's like if you had an idea for a premise and it was totally baked and half baked, and you went on stage with it and it's nothing.
Just
there.
go for it.
Oh
yeah,
That's
you're married. Tom, you're married. If your husband's doing something, if he's allegedly doing something like this, you guys would know if your wives were up to some nefarious stuff. But let's just not forget who she is. She's been for years lecturing America about morality and equality, systemic failures, and look at her track record. How many times does she have to go on in the past 2 months and look at the camera and do a legal apology for all the stuff that she said on the show.
The morning
yeah,
the
she
scandal
said a
broke
lot of
seemed like
fucking
any
dumb
other,
shit.
coffee in hand, scrolling through the usual news. But then something stood out. The name
She
Sunny
had to
Hostin
backtrack a
flashed
lot.
across the screen, but not for her fiery takes on The View. No, this time it was about her husband, Dr. Emmanuel Manny Hostin. And trust me, the headlines were anything but flattering. Dr. Hostin, an orthopedic surgeon, and his practice, Host Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, found themselves at the epicenter of a storm. The accusations? Insurance fraud, kickbacks, and wait for it, being tied to a sprawling RICO lawsuit involving a staggering 180 defendants.
my back.
That's not just a case, folks. It's a blockbuster. But before we dive into the drama, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss a single plot twist in this Hollywood-sized scandal. So let's break this down, legal jargon and all.
I agree with mostly everything that's been said. I mean, we know that, only about 31% of Americans trust our healthcare system. We have a terrible healthcare system. And, doctors suffer because of big corporations as well. Doctors that want to do good, like my husband, operates on someone even though they don't have insurance and then has to sue health.
That's where it all went downhill. As soon as she started saying that, she was like, wait a minute, what?
Don't have insurance and then has to sue health insurance companies to get paid for the work that he's been trained his whole life to do.
Accused of committing federal insurance fraud in lawsuit. Yeah. The what she just said, right, was like, it was... It's just like, why are you saying that? That's not good. Fucking dumb.
The RICO
literally
Act,
ratted out
Influence
on her
and Corrupt
husband.
Organizations Act was originally created to take down organized crime.
Yeah.
Think mobsters, gangsters, the real shady stuff. But plot twist, it's not the mafia in the hot seat.
Well,
here.
I mean, it
It's
got
doctors, surgeons,
it
and
got
medical
changed
practices.
a little bit because,
now,
well,
the courtroom drama
this
feels
kind of
less
stuff.
like Goodfellas and more like Grey's Anatomy, but
Yeah.
with fraud on the side. The lawsuit alleges that Dr. Hostin and others were running a scheme to milk the healthcare system. They allegedly received kickbacks for performing unnecessary surgeries and billing insurance companies for procedures that may not have even happened. Picture this: patients going under the knife, insurance companies picking up the tab, while money changes hands like it's a high-stakes poker game at the hospital.
I want a citizen that has a policy.
sounds
I'm
like
not saying
fraud
that
to
Joe
me.
Rogan should be removed from Spotify. He's got 11 million listeners.
then
He's
what-
got
what are you
$100
saying,
million
then?
contract as of 2020. But I do think as the podcast platform, you have to have some sort of guidelines. How about a disclaimer?
Well, what
on
about
his
you?
podcast
You
that
guys don't
says,
have
this
disclaimers.
is
You guys just
misinformation.
spout all
How
the
about
bullshit.
removing some of the podcasts that disseminate this
And they have.
misinformation?
They have.
And that's
Listen, you
at
least
some
you
point.
Here's where it gets juicy. The lawsuit specifically calls out Dr. Hostin for allegedly getting financial incentives for recommending or performing arthroscopic surgeries, those minimally invasive joint procedures. At face value, these surgeries seem above board, but the lawsuit claims some of them were completely unnecessary. Were these patients actually in need of knee or shoulder surgeries? Or was someone just looking for a payday? If these allegations are true, this could be one of the most shocking betrayals, making soap opera scandals look tame. Imagine trusting your doctor only to realize you were just a pawn in a financial game. That's the kind of betrayal that stings, literally.
It's always the people that always do the pointing, and it always comes back to them, all right? So when you said this is the largest RICO case ever filed in the state of New York, you guys wrap that around your brain. That's bigger than the mafia case. Like the mafia one was number one. This one takes it over. So he was scamming insurance companies from taxi drivers, Uber drivers, and Lyft drivers. He was performing unnecessary surgeries and then providing fraudulent medical services in exchange.
So yeah, he was using the Uber and Lyft drivers as a transportation tool to get these clients or whatever to Looking bad.
For the kickbacks.
But here's the twist. On the other side of this case is American Transit Insurance Company, ATIC, the plaintiff. Attic claims they've been duped out of millions, alleging they were billed for surgeries that never happened or weren't needed. It's like paying for a steak and getting tofu instead. But let's be real. Insurance companies don't exactly have clean hands either. They've been accused of underpaying doctors, denying claims, and finding every loophole to avoid paying up. So the big question is Attic really trying to expose a massive healthcare scam, or is this just
the healthcare system has always been kind of shady,
looking to blame someone else?
According to a new lawsuit obtained
right? Because they don't want to pay for people, or they don't want to pay for people's fucking medical bills when they're supposed to.
Ever filed in New York.
Even though you have the insurance,
Emmanuel was accused
right?
of federal
Isn't that
insurance
what the
fraud
insurance is for? To help you pay for some of your fucking medical bills? Yeah. Give me a sec. I need to go use the restroom, and then we'll finish the rest of this video. I gotta go pee. Be right back. What time is it? 11:30. Okay, I gotta call it soon because I gotta fucking wake up early in the morning so we can drink. Well, I gotta run an errand and come and see what's going on with the inauguration. Okay.
Quote, getting kickbacks by performing surgery and billing a company that insured taxi companies and Uber and Lyft drivers.
Dr. Hostin's lawyer, Daniel Thwaites, didn't hold back. He blasted the lawsuit as a meritless attempt by Attic to recoup their losses, calling it a last-ditch effort by a company on the verge of financial collapse. His defense? Shift the spotlight onto ATIC and paint them as the real villains. Classic courtroom maneuver. When you're under attack, you turn the tables on your accuser. And trust me, it's keeping the courtroom drama red hot. But hold on, there's more. Enter Joe Rogan, podcast king and media critic. Rogan didn't pull any punches, calling out The View for what he saw as blatant hypocrisy. He reminded everyone how Sunny Hostin used to slander people, acting like she was perfect, all while likely knowing about her husband's shady dealings. And that's not all. Rogan went full throttle, roasting the show for being, well, plain stupid. If you average out the IQ of The View hosts, you might still struggle to hit triple digits, he quipped.
I saw you on The View.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's been overwhelming my past couple days. So
when this guy went on The View,
I had no idea what to expect. I didn't know who Sunny Hostin was. I actually still really don't know.
Yeah,
so I wasn't
they
expecting
tried to
necessarily...
paint this guy in a bad light. It was so fucking stupid what they did.
For her to kind of try to ambush me in that way.
Yeah, they tried to literally ambush.
Attack my character in that way.
Yeah,
well, it is the show that people love to hate.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
They get so much hate watching viral clips of them saying ridiculous things.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it is a rabies infested hen house.
Harsh? Maybe, but his fans were eating it up. Now, while Dr. Hostin fights for his reputation in court, his wife, Sunny, has been eerily silent. Normally, Sunny's the one who tackles controversy head-on on The View, but when it comes to her husband's scandal, crickets. Why the silence? Is she standing by him, trying to distance herself, or maybe waiting for her lawyers to tell her what to say? Fans are buzzing, some thinking she's protecting her image, others suspecting she's staying quiet to avoid being the next target. Either way, her silence is speaking volumes. And here's the kicker. This isn't just about Dr. Hostin. He's one of 180 defendants named in this lawsuit, including other doctors, medical practices, and even hospitals.
Yeah.
If the allegations hold water...
So this is why they're doing the whole RICO thing on him. Because he's interconnected with so many fucking other facilities and businesses that's like... Oh, fuck, man. You literally... fucked everyone in this situation because of what you did.
One of the largest medical fraud cases in recent
memory.
It's
going
an
to be
entire
a
network
big
of corruption,
fucking case.
exploiting loopholes in the healthcare system for millions.
Her husband accused of committing federal insurance fraud in a lawsuit. Okay, now let's read this. Rob, is this a video?
Well, I have this. I'll show you this about.
Let me just read this and I'll come to you. So, Dr. Emmanuel Manny Hostin, an orthopedic surgeon and husband of The View co-host Sunny Hostin, is accused in December lawsuit fraudulent.
I might actually
by
get
the way,
the
this is a
switch
Daily
too.
Caller story I'm reading. The lawsuit alleges Hostin knowingly provided fraudulent medical and other healthcare services in exchange for kickbacks and or compensation, and names him among nearly 200 defendants in one of New York's largest RICO cases. Wow. Hostin's attorney Daniel Thwaites denies the allegations, calling the lawsuit a meritless attempt by a near-bankrupt insurance carrier to intimidate doctors and restrict healthcare benefits. The case involves claims that Hostin performs unnecessary surgeries on patients after minor accidents without exploring less invasive treatments with American Transit citing New York's 1974 no-fault laws contributing to widespread insurance fraud.
It's like a heist movie, except instead of robbing banks, these criminals are robbing insurance premiums. At the heart of it all is a bigger question. How much trust do we really have in the healthcare system when money seems to trump patient care? When doctors and insurance companies care more about profits than people, trust crumbles. Patients should feel safe going to their doctor, not like they're walking into a financial trap. And let's not forget, if Attic is using this lawsuit as a smokescreen to cover up their own financial mess, they're only adding fuel to the fire. This whole situation is a tangled web.
Yeah, 2 projects,
untangling
and then
it won't be
probably
easy. As of now, Dr. Hostin hasn't been found guilty.
A bunch of
These are
writing
just
assignments.
allegations, but the court battle promises to be a spectacle. Both sides are gearing up to throw everything they've got at each other. So for now, all we can do is sit back, watch, and try to separate fact from fiction. Whether Dr. Hostin is guilty or innocent, this case is already shining a harsh spotlight on the uncomfortable truths of both the healthcare and insurance industries. So buckle up. This scandal is far from over. With every new twist, we'll be right here with popcorn in hand, watching it all unfold like the courtroom drama it's destined to be. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss a beat.
I'll catch
you in the next one. Peace.
This seems like another one of these AI, yeah, it's hard to say. Seems like one of these AI I mean, it's not really. He's probably using AI for some of it. But yeah. One of those channels. For surgery that was declined by an insurance company, then suing the insurance for surgery performed without insurance. You just have to. Yeah. I wonder if if the prosecutors are going to literally bring in the statement that she said on fucking live television. Oh my god. Did you know that you said this on live TV? So. Let's watch Darks. Conquer failure kills Sony's live service plans, cancels multiple games after losing 500 mil.
Video game failure of all time, and this is what Concord is the biggest video game failure of all time, and this is what happens when companies don't listen to the customers they have. But now we're finding out that Sony is actually screwed because of this title, because now PlayStation Live Service games are being canceled left and right. Before I get into the topic, though, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description.
Right, since one of because they were supposed to, right? They probably put a lot of money into Concord, hoping it would succeed. And right, it could net them some revenue and profit if it stayed alive, but yeah. Nope.
Community and my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, what makes this situation even more hilarious than it already was is because of Marvel's Rivals' massive success. When Concord came out, and of course it died in 2 weeks, the mainstream media was trying to say, oh, people aren't really looking for hero shooters anymore.
No,
it's
that's not true.
Space,
I mean,
and it's
really? There was a lot of people playing Overwatch too, so no, that's not the case.
Going to be really hard for games to break through, and then Marvel's Rivals came out. It had 20 million players in only 2 weeks, and everybody's playing it. Everybody's loving it. Now, yes, the Marvel IP is very massive, and you have all different kinds of people trying to play this game. People who like the comics are playing it. People who like the movies are playing it. Gamers in just general are playing the game, but if it was a crappy game, nobody would be playing it, even if it is free to play, and it is not poorly monetized. I know that, you know, NetEase does not have the best reputation, and I do not really like them as a company, but I do have to give them credit. The 33 heroes, which is a massive amount to have at launch, were all free. The only thing you had to pay for was if you wanted the premium battle pass, which of course is not required, and then individual skins if you wanted them, and there is a wide variety of those. But there's also a ton of maps. Only a month after release, they released new maps and new characters, and overall it went very well. And that truly is a prime example of, it's not the market that is the problem. It is the companies and their creations that are the problem, because Sony put so much money towards Concord. Apparently, as far as we know, $400 to $700 million, which is crazy to think about. And if they had put a little bit more time and effort into the game, they would have at least been able to keep it alive this long, but it died in only 2 weeks and they got what they fucking deserved. But a few years ago, Sony, sensing a ripe opportunity, decided to aggressively expand into the live service space. I do not think live service games are inherently bad, but I do think that when you have a company that is not listening to their customers, almost all of those games are going to fail. I mean, Sony has another live service hit just from last.
Right, not only that, but the Concord, nobody liked the characters, right? It was just a generic thing, and like, what? And it came out after Overwatch, so it's like, when people played Overwatch, they're gonna go to the next game, try it, and they're gonna be like, well, this does. I think Overwatch is better, right? They're gonna go back to Overwatch.
Last year.
And then when Marvel Rivals came out, everyone went to Marvel Rivals instead of Overwatch.
As Helldivers 2, it was very popular at
I mean,
first.
I bet some people still play
A lot of the hype
Overwatch,
ended up
but yeah.
dying out because of
A lot
the
of people
controversy surrounding the game.
Now
The
that
way
Marvel
community
Rivals is
managers
out,
and
oh man.
moderators were acting, but it still
There's
was very
competition.
successful for them for a long period of time. And if they had kept that momentum up, it would still be a mega hit, but it's not really anymore, and they got what they fucking deserved there too. Though it says this was confusing for fans, as the majority of publishers' first-party studios are renowned for their single-player games. I do think it is good to have a wide variety of titles on the market, but I will always choose a single-player game over a live service if the content is on equal ground.
Yeah. I mean, if we just take a look at all the fucking characters, like, what the fuck? Okay, robot, sure. This person, what the fuck? What the fuck? What is this? Oh yeah, this one, that's right. Like, what the fuck? Like, what is this? The characters look so uninteresting. Like, what the fuck? Brawl, rivalry, takeover, cargo run, area control, signal hunt, takedown, trophy hunt. This one's an extermination stuff. Oh, okay, so it was just a bunch of different game modes, okay. Yeah. With uninteresting characters, and then you put them in a shooter arena, it's like, or a hero arena. Yeah, I mean, if people aren't gonna like the characters.
Sony's decision to aggressively expand into the live service space was confusing to fans, as the majority of the publisher's first-party studios are renowned for their single-player games. I don't know why they repeated it here. I think that the ChatGPT messed up. Nevertheless, Sony persisted in its live service push and occasionally found success, most notably with Arrowhead's Helldivers 2. Having 1 success versus 50 failures isn't really a good look.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah.
The biggest shift in priorities came after the release of Concord, the debut title of Firewalk Studios. Despite the expensive cinematics and marketing from Sony, there never seemed to be a large amount of interest in Concord. It was a new IP. It was priced at $40, which is what Overwatch launched at 8 years ago. That was a big fail. It didn't have a lot of maps, it didn't have a lot of heroes, and then you have to add in the DEI elements. A lot of gamers are boycotting these types of games right now, and when you have characters with he, him, she, her, they, them, z, zer pronouns, and you're talking about how they're oppressed within the game world, yeah, that's going to be a bit cringe, and a lot of people are going to see those screenshots and those clips on social media, and they're going to be like, you know what, I'm not going to spend $40 freaking on this game. It's really Sony's fault for monetizing it poorly, for allowing activists to run rampant within this studio, because keep in mind, they did not initially own Firewalk. They went out of their way to purchase them, thinking this was going to be the next like behemoth IP, and it wasn't, and that's how they spent so much money.
Brand
But
new IP,
they also
hero shooter,
didn't release all the
and
content they should have
and all
at
of it
launch.
had
We
like
know
DEI
for a
bull
fact,
crap in it.
judging by the 1 hour
Yeah, I don't
long
know.
credits that Concord has, you can still find them on social media and like on YouTube and X. They had a whole entire single player mode. They had a whole campaign, and they didn't end up coming out with that. They're probably going to just reskin it and repurpose it for another game that will come out in 3 years because of the amount of money that was spent, though they didn't release that. If they had launched that alongside the multiplayer for $40, well, then I would say, okay, you're getting more bang for your buck, but they didn't. And I think it's because they knew, judging by the initial reaction, it was going to flop. Though, according to Jeff Grubb, the journo who steals people's scoops, the recent God of War and Bend Studio cancellations are a direct result of Concord's
Giant
failure.
Bomb, yeah.
I would never want a God of War live service title. It's just not
Yeah,
something
what the
that I
fuck?
would
That'd be
ever go
bad.
out of my way and ask for and say, oh, hey, these companies should definitely...
Yeah, God of War has never been like... Don't do that to God of War. I mean, it was already bad enough they... like, some of the people in the studio were kind of like... kind of into the whole DEI thing.
Definitely make something like this. And on an episode of Game Mess Decides, he addressed the recent cancellation, saying this happened because of Concord. This should be clear. That's what I've been told. Sony has been shell-shocked by Concord, and now they're going around to every studio and they're reassessing every single project. Yeah, look at how much fucking money they spent, but they also have a lot of other live service games in the works, like Marathon, if that even ever really comes out, and then Fair Games, which is, again, another, from what we understand, DEI-focused title.
Where the fuck is Hollow Knight? Where's Vampire the Masquerade, right? All these... Dude, there's so many games... There's a couple games that are... There's some games that are just stuck in limbo still. And none of the...
going around and
none of the
eating
developers
rich
have said
and destroying
anything
what
yet.
the rich have built up within this world.
It's not
Whatever
looking
the
good for
context of the
those
situation
games,
is,
man.
we've got one awful trailer to judge, and it got ratioed to hell and back. But Sony deserves what they've gotten. This is what happens
almost
when you
like,
just
what, 6 or
treat
7
gamers
years
like
since,
walking wallets, and you're not giving us a good,
5,
high quality
I should say.
experience.
5 or 6.
And like I mentioned,
Since the last time they talked
Sony
about
shut
those
down
games.
Firewalk Studios, but initially we were hearing it cost $400 million to develop. Then we heard it was above $500 million, and it really doesn't matter because that is an insane amount of money to spend on a
this
brand
crappy
new
game.
IP. I don't know
Yeah,
why
brand
they
new
would ever
IP
think
where
that would turn out well for them.
where
Sony
not a
is the
lot of
largest
people were
company within
looking
the
for
gaming industry, so
hero
I
shooter.
get that they have to take risks occasionally, but a $500 million risk is quite a lot, at least in my opinion, and clearly the opinions of millions and millions
big
and
risk.
millions of other gamers. But I can't say I'm very surprised. A lot of gamers right now are boycotting live service games. They're boycotting Sweet Baby titles, games that are centered around DEI, and people are just not
finding
really
out.
going out of their way to purchase games based on like company loyalty anymore. And I think that that is something that
Well, I mean,
is
if you
not
really do think
understood.
about who's in most of these companies now, a lot of the game devs that were in the process of making some of the some of the best known titles known to man, right? Yeah, they're all gone. Some of them have left those studios, and started up their own studios, or have retired. Right? A lot of these people are just gone. And then you have new people into these studios that have made these great games, but the people aren't the same people that made those great games aren't working there anymore.
stood within
And
the
they have
industry right
up
now.
and
Look
left.
at BioWare. I used to
They have
absolutely
started a
love
new
BioWare
journey.
games. They have so many amazing
Right.
franchises.
Making
but
a new
then I
studio
was
for
like,
themselves,
I'm not
making
going
other games
to sit
right,
here
they like.
and just give BioWare a million free passes with Veilguard because they've made some good games in the past. Everyone is roasting Obsidian right now because of Matt Hansen's crusty white dude's comment, and suddenly their Steam community.
I don't know how about it. I mean, I might still pick it up, but at the same time, it's like, fuck.
Hub being
I'm already
removed
thinking
or
it's already gonna be
disabled,
bad.
which is insane. People are not looking at
I
PlayStation
don't really
I'm
have
just
high
going to
hopes
buy
for
this because
Avowed,
it's
to be
Sony.
honest.
And this is something companies are going to have to very quickly realize, especially if they want to ever get back to making money. But I, of course, do think we are going to see a shift away from live service games in a couple of years, though it's going to take a while. Look at how long development times are. They're not just going to cancel every single live service game that's in the works. They're going to keep the ones in
they're gonna
development
keep.
that
They're
they
probably
think
gonna keep
could
the
be
live
very
service games
successful,
they know
they've
that they
already
can make
dumped
some
a lot
money
of money
on.
into. And I do think that in a couple of years we probably are going to
But
see
even
a
then,
lot of
will they make
studios
money
shift
on that?
away from live
Who
service,
knows until they
and
release
Concord
whatever
is a major reason why it's the
online
biggest
service games
failure
they do.
in the video game industry of all time, and I think it's hilarious, and I'm just happy to see that Sony got what they deserved. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.
Thank you. Gonna play trash, yeah. More games like Stellar Blade, Astrobot, not Concord. Hey, what? I mean, to be frank, I don't even like Astrobot just because it just a platformer and they just a bunch of reused assets. I mean, they had what, new music? What? They went all in on exactly what fans don't want. Local live service, yeah, basically. Some honest markets research outside the California bubble could prevent a lot of flops. That's true. I mean, just do not go to Democrat state, right? Don't go to California, that's for sure. Because you know for sure they're gonna do DEI bullshit. And I live in California. After losing so much money on the dumpster fire, Sony might finally be rubbing two brain cells together. Get woke, go broke. It's rather ironic that it's the rich eating themselves and us poor people just looking on the lunacy of it all and laughing at it, you know? Hopefully Sony Japan notices too and take back the control of its gaming division. Oh, because because of Sony America. The device is non-binary. Wait. There you have it. Fucking video game devs fucking shit up. Alright, what time is it? I think I will call it here. I was gonna watch these on... I'll just watch it off stream. Getting late anyway. Early tomorrow so we can do the inauguration shit. I am gonna get out of here. Thank you for watching. Watch. Tomorrow. Well, later today. Inauguration starts at like 9 my time? Gotta wake up early? I can... yeah. Yeah. Thank you for watching. Much appreciated. Have a wonderful evening, day, night. Whatever it may be. And see you again next time.